Uh, oh. Put all this in, I was like, wait, what? I shouldn't be in yet. But anyways, guys, welcome. Okay, let's go. What position am I in? 2. Okay, cool. So what do we need to get? So basically so far, guys, we got up to rank 5. So I've done a few fights already so far. So we need to get up to rank 7. We're at Bismo's Brawl Pub. Otherwise it has Brawl'gar Arena, as you can see here. Where is it? Oh no, it's actually called Bismo's Brawl Pub. Like all the other stuff is like Brawl'gar Arena shit.
May your days bring you joy.
Basically Brawler's Guild, Brawler's this, Brawler's that. See versus in, oh yeah, Hudson Overwatch. Who's he got next? Oh, he's got Dippy. Okay, should be easy for him. Dippy should be a pretty easy kill for him, so as long as all you have to do is Dippy just damage him. That's just easy. And also he does no damage with the Peck either.
Death to our enemies.
That's good. I am next. Who I got this time? That guy was pretty easy, actually. So yeah, we got about, if he wins 7 more fights, we get up to the next one.
2.
Let's see what they're good at the moment. Lingtron 3000, oh damn. Mostly accurate rocket, yeah, mostly accurate. Jeez, he's not even doing much damage. Is that to be something he's doing? It just feels odd because normally like people like just blast through this as DPS. He's got a lot of HP. He's like Are you meant to like stun him or something? Because yeah, he's not gonna win this unless he gets all the fingers killed. Yeah, that was rough. I'm not sure what he was meant to do to win that.
1.
Ah, should be easy for him. I can. Basically, there's no point in damaging these guys. Yeah, it actually might be quite difficult if I get up to that fight as a DH. At the moment, I'm out DPSing his damage, which is pretty crazy as a vengeful demon, as a DH with everything up. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so what he's gonna do is that if he plays Blingtron again, what he's gonna do is that he's gonna make sure he doesn't cleave too hard. Because he played Blingtron again. Actually, don't see this guy this time. Though this guy's really easy. This guy, you just cleave his brooms. Like actually, you just zerg him, and the brooms just cleave themselves down. So I literally googled the Blingtron 3000. It's gonna be rough for this guy in particular because I don't think he gets it there because he just cleaved all the ads here and didn't try to get them down here. So pretty much he died because of that. Hopefully you can get this one right. I don't want to be mean and like be like, hey, so there's a Tesla coil here, and what you want to do is you want to get the ad slowly but surely back here. I wonder if he's googled it. No, he has not googled it. Because they're still on his pets. Okay, there we go. Just move your pets back. Yep, good work. Yep, he's getting it. He's getting it right now. So pretty much it is he gets to here, and these will eventually chain to him, and then you beat the fuck out of him. But the hardest part is getting the chain. I don't think they're not chaining. I think he's going to move one a bit back further. Actually got one close here. But he needs to get one here, like around out here. Should be able to get one, like he's got it now. He just needs the in-between ones, yeah. Oh no, he's become the Tesla coil. Awesome. Oh, no way. He didn't make it. That's a rip. Yeah, that's GG. Because there's no way he's going to make that line again. Yeah, he's a dead guy. That's unfortunate. He didn't get on the first try. That's just brutal. Thank you, JTR. Oh, I gotta be careful, because that Dino Dash will kill you. I've funnily enough died to this on my warrior as well. Because, what do you think I did? First sort of charged back in, and I got absolutely fucking buried.
Charging.
Happy New Year. It's not even New Year yet, dude. But when we get there, okay? Oh crap. Got him. What have you been up to anyways, dude? What have you been up to?
2.
He's trying to think how to beat Blingtron, I reckon. Oh no. Hopefully he gets this. Well, he knows what to do, but he just got absolutely unluckoed. Like, what happened was that his Blingtron here didn't connect. Oh no, sorry, this one here didn't connect. So his Tesla coil didn't do any damage, which was the epitome of frustration. So I kill one here. He's gonna go next one here. So he's gonna get one more, probably 2 more out of out here. Yeah, he's got it perfect. He should be able to get all the rest of us as he kills this last one. Yep, there he is. Has to press it. Oh, you're kidding me. There we go. Can he kill in a minute though? That's the main question. I really didn't pop his cooldowns trying to get the thing down. He should be comfy. He's got, yeah, 30 seconds. We get closer. Ooh, I guess it's getting one that's another set of cooldowns. Nah, he's got this. It's rank 6, yep. Okay, what's it? I can buy the mana for one too. Yeah, there we go. Brawling Bruno. Where is he? There you go. We get the Brawling Bruno mount. Oh, who's he got now? Destructo Bite. He's got the guy on the shark, dinosaur, and undead. I already hate this fight already. He's got enough time. Oh jeez, that's nasty. You can't see the shit on the ground, and you have to, you know, defend yourself against it. A lot of these fights become puzzles later on, like to become less DPS checks and more puzzly. So yeah, so that's how quickly you kill the first unit, and the rest are just easy. There we go. Oh, is the guy not here anymore? He isn't here anymore, sweet. I just haven't got my cooldowns ready to go. Oh, Mecha Bruno. Oh, Mecha Bruce, sorry.
Shockwave. Shockwave. Shockwave.
There you go. Got him again.
One.
So easy. Okay, you go here. There you go. Just had to focus on one of them.
2,
Ooh, he requeued. I think the druid requeued. I just need one more fight and we're done. How quickly did he win? Oh, he ran really quickly. Both of them. Oh. There you go. Now we can get out of here. Because I should have this. Yeah, there you go. So that's all the decor done for this area. How much gold did I get out of that? Probably got like, yeah, 276. So that's that decor done, okay. So what we're gonna do is, before we do any more decor, we're gonna check what's active so far in Koresh. Okay, so what we're looking for here, we're gonna be looking for we'll see what thing's active at the moment in Koresh. No, we don't have any in the big areas doing that. We don't. Might as well get the fishing quest out of the way.
We didn't have enough trouble. Now the mail is backed up. That postmaster is from your way.
Where's my fishing? Yeah, there it is. We get the fishing one done relatively quickly. We get 7 casts and we're done. Well, depending if we catch anything, that is. I was trying to get this done quickly. And then we can probably look at other stuff as well. We actually could look at the cooking trainer as well to see what we can do to get the other stuff as well. Because I think we've got the Brawl'gar stuff ready or done. But we haven't got the cooking stuff done. There we go. Yes. What have I got this for? I don't know what quest I accepted to get that though. To get this one. I just want to check something. I got all the no, I haven't got all the fingers yet. Yeah, I might as well start grabbing a lot of these now actually while we're here. Okay, cool. So we got to get to these level workers in their respective areas. What we might do here is we might respec our druid to be herb and mining. So you can really just like flatten out this thing, and also at the same time I'm gonna give my gotta give the axe as well, or get the axe as well for my druid, so you can cut down wood. I'm gonna start targeting specific areas. Wait a second, what? Meant to be going to Stormwind. You go to Ouroboros because I believe the level working is in the actual city. And I think, no, Dragon Isle is also in the capital city as well. It's in the Halls of Shapes, right? JC.
Reporting for duty.
Wait, is that? Oh, never mind. I thought it was like.
All goods and services for sale.
One of these guys to be level working trainer. There we go.
This realm offers
Cool. I'm getting never walking just for like some of these areas. You don't need it for Ouroboros, but you need gun shoes for Ouroboros is much better though. Oh shit. I believe you either die or you get teleported back up. What an accident to have.
The alliance shall prevail.
Yeah, there's Admiral Taylor. It's obviously a meme to Nazgrim.
Tell me what you need, my friend.
We are struggling.
Only the best.
The other thing is, shouldn't like most of these DKs be like, you know, somewhat good at these areas, I guess? forget where the level. Actually, level working trainer is around here, I think. Yeah, it is here.
Are you good?
There you go. I just realised I might as well just stay at the crafting table. Because all of them require a crafting table. Like of some kind. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get Josh and Drew to my house so we can cut lumber. Because that is also really, really important. Charm woodland creature. Forget about that. Okay. That would be the. Oh no, it's not. It'll be. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because I did the dailies. So I forgot to pick it up. Kind of important. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn herbalism and mining, because those are
How may I aid you?
relatively important professions, especially here. And mining would be... Oh, I forget which one's mining. That's archaeology. That's obliterium. Like, someone's up here. It's a mining trainer. There we go. They gave me classic herping and classic mining. Great. Yep. Googling the term lumber axe on Wowhead is probably not the smartest thing, okay? I got like everything but like the lumberjack sort of shit. Okay. Like everything everything that I didn't want. Let's just put it that way, okay?
Hi. Be good. What's on your mind?
Okay, so I do have some of these. Actually, I want to convert to Shadow Man.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Okay, what do I want to do in particular? Okay, I gotta find this quickly. Where's my homebound? Here, there we go. So what I'm gonna check is what we need basically on these. Oh my god, some of these are gonna be nasty. No wonder why the fucking ones are nasty. Black Lotus? Okay, let's just figure out how much lumber we need to get, okay? Hopefully Excel doesn't come up here. I don't want it to come up here. Okay. Okay, what do you need? Elk. What do we need? Okay, so how many different logs are there? There's ironwood. Lemba. Cold Wind. Ashwood. Bamboo. Shadow Moon. Hell Touched. Yep, and the Kaltiran one is Darkpine. Okay, Dragapine. Just have to double check that one, okay? Because I was like, huh? Okay, let's go for the first one. So 40. So this one requires 22. Cold Wind requires 60. Ashwood requires 30. Because I've got some of them, so I'm just trying to exclude all of them. 6. $41. 68. 12. 12. 28. Oh, shit. Hot Tub requires 34. Okay. Funnily enough, it's actually pretty easy to get the recipe. Blacksmithing 30. What I'm gonna do is kill some B3 to J3. We're gonna see how much we need of each. This is gonna take a long time to get all of them, by the way. $25, $50, $75, $95. Holy shit. $78. 43, and we also need Chaos Orbs, which is pretty easy to get actually. 65. 85. Fucking hell, man. So that's 25. 60. 38. Essence of Valor. Okay, dude, I don't remember some of these resources, but then again, I never did mining and whatnot. So 88, and the last one is Dornick, which should be just 30. Yep. I bought one of the Rusting Belt bench for really cheap. Okay, cooking. So cooking is 0 on the classic and stuff. Okay, cool. So 0. It's interesting. I expected some to be on the cooking ones. So 18. But that's a good thing then, because with everyone, I think I've got like cooking maxed on most tunes. So it should be relatively easy. Like skips an expansion if you guys didn't notice. Skips 2 expansions, funnily enough. 53, 75, and this one I've just only got 15. Oh, this actually drops 40. Dude, I'm gonna say once we get to inscription, it's gonna be like half the fucking page, man. Enchanting. Oh my god, I'm looking at some of these and being like, fuck me. These are gonna be some doozies to do. 20, 50. See, the worst part is not the large. Not these ones aren't too bad. You get disenchanter, like a high DE, and you get these done easily. It's just a little shit like the dark runes and whatnot. They're gonna be absolute pain. Oh, so 80. And I got KD's thing. That's good. I got some shark crystals to get. Haunting Spirit. I think you gotta get those anyway. 40. $48, 34. That's 82. Oh shit, we gotta get Bodicigaris. That can be a bit of a doozy to get as well. To be fair, a lot of these are really, really easy to get. I think we got a lot of these on 5D on Jose anyway. Hang on. Yeah, but 82. Yep. Okay, cool. 6 and 41. 30 and 6. 36. Wait a second. Should be just 30 then. $66. That's actually quite another nasty price, actually. But really, you have to make one of these as well? Dude, that's just pain. You can't be serious. You have to make one of these as well to get it. So it's actually 82. I hope that's not the case for a few of these other things that you need the other material. I think it's only for that one, right? Yeah, geez, that's pretty nasty to require a previous one to make it. This one's gonna be fucking expensive. Oh no, not really. Only the delicate Arcanite converter. Like the others are pretty tame actually. This one, I was gonna say, this one doesn't look too. I guess so. 2846, 2846. That's 84. 104. Ooh, that's a nasty shit to grind. 40. If only, like I say, if only I could transfer my characters from Classic who have all these professions. 30, 50, 80. 20, 25, 45, 50. Oh geez, that's pretty nasty. 42, 45, that's 87, and that's 103. 60. 25, 50, 75. Jeez, I gotta say, poor engineers, mate. Like the person who makes this for me, I'm gonna tip him pretty big actually. Inscription, time for the shit one. 50, 95, 125, 140, which I've already got, so ignore that. It's 125, 150. 32. 52, 62, 87. Oh, geez, ammo train 6. 51. 61. 79. I just noted all the fucking Titan steel. That is not going to be fun to farm. Okay, give name 25, 35, 60, 95. Yep. I remember Amaris and I farming a lot of these stuff in particular to get a lot of this stuff. 20, 65, 90, 110. 25, 35, 43. 43, 58. Two seconds, I gotta do this one really quickly. Which one is it? Yep. Oh, I missed this one, but that's really matter. I forgot already. 22, 57, 87, 107, 135. $23, 33, 68. Holy shit. 44, oh, sorry, hang on. Yeah, 44, 64, 114, 124, 159, and 183. Jeez, that's gonna be a fucking doozy. This probably is even worse. No. 18, 16, 24. Sorry, 34, 34, 34. 85, 111. $70, and I just saw star rubies. To be fair, I think not many of these are pretty hard to get, to be honest. 25, 45. They just require time. Like, I'm gonna say, like, they're not hard to get, they just require time, which is probably the biggest issue. 30. I think that one's actually really, really easy to get, these ones here. Yeah, because Dragon's Eye are very easy to make. It's just probably the wood, probably difficult. 20. The difficult one here is going to be the Chaos Orbs. 15 and 25. Okay, there we go. Orbs of Mystery. 75. Sorry. Yep, 75. 33. 37. 60. 48. 25. 51. 41. Got only a few more left. It's just gonna be a yeah, I'm trying to think of which one to really do first. Probably want to do the classic ones first, to be honest. Trying to think what can we do. I guess we could do the Olemble ones first, because obviously Olemble will knock out both Draenei and whatever. Okay, let's go first. 18. This is BC. 52. 30. 0, because we knocked that out previously. 70. 62. 54. 69. What a number. 62. 48. 85. And that one was the first ones I did, so 0. Tailoring, 25. $53. Oh no. Hopefully that's no cooldown because that's diabolical. Well, I guess we did the same here as well. Yeah, 40. 50. 61. Well, I guess these aren't too bad. Like, sheesh. Carabao bed. This is 65. We also need the primal spirits as well. That will be an interesting one to get. We may need a tailor. 30, 40, 70. We'll probably need a tailor to do Draenor to get the circular rug. Especially ones that can farm. 65. 59. 75. 63. And Dornica 0. Okay, cool. So first things first, we're gonna go. Oh shit, we should probably actually check what we have in our war bank. Where's that wall band? There we go. Do we put it all in here? The logs? Yeah, okay, there we go. There's some logs. Okay, so we got 67 Dark Pine, 6 Alemba already. I don't know about the other stuff either. Is there any here? I guess we can just withdraw it, so you have the logs in inventory, so we know how much we've got. Let's check the top row as well, just in case there's no logs here, just in case. I don't think there will be, but I just don't think there'll be any, that there could be logs here, so you always just double check. Not no logs. Still checking. Jeez, we got a 14 of those. I don't think I'd have too many of those, actually. That's an FI, that's for the Void bike, which we already got. Okay, cool. Okay, first thing to check, how do we get the BC quickly? Could be the Shatrath portal, right? And where is the Shatrath portal? There. How many Alemba do we have already? What? I definitely saw some Alemba in there. And where did the Alemba? And where did the Alemba shit go? There we go. Okay, there we go. We got cold wind here. I was gonna say, I swear I collected more wood.
May your days be long and your hardships.
Look at this area compared to, Bingo. Oh, I just realized that Kuno is on here. Wait, does he have Burning Crusade or mining now? No, he doesn't. Shit, am I Alliance or Horde? I'm Alliance, I go to Honor Hold, right? Yep. All the profession trainers in here. In Shatraf. I think all the profession trainers are in here somewhere. Here they are. Just trying to find the herb one and the herb one and the other one. Herb and mining.
Victory lies ahead. Death to all who oppose us.
Where's the goddamn herbalism training? Do I have to go back to like Honor Hold to find it? I hope not. Surely there'll be a herb trainer up here, right? He's alright code. Oh man. Let's ask these Shatraf peacekeepers.
The Naru have not forgotten us.
You sure? Dude, I gotta say, if you want to get a Gavro character, you go Scryers, given the outer fuck, like, everything in Scryers is like, oh yeah, we go herb trainer here. Oh. Lol. Look at all this shit, they got a giant book.
Our enemies will fall. The reckoning is at hand.
That is absolutely crazy. I just want to check something. I'm not sure if, yeah, I thought so. I couldn't activate it because I was pacified. Yeah, cool. Because I was like, surely no. Yeah, cool. Oh my god. Druid again. Druid undefeated on how OP it is. You don't know what I mean by like Druid undefeated on how good it is? Yeah. Like, Druid is very, very strong with herbing and mining. Due to their ability to do it while flying. Like this. But Druids are very, very scary. Because they can continue to do this sort of shit. I think I'm just gonna get the lumber and focus up. This is actually such a sad quest line, by the way. Like, what happened at Cenarian Thicket. Actually, this is the funny part. You wouldn't believe this. Some guy did a big, like, you know, formula on what's the rarity of getting 1, 2, and 3, like, of logs. And, like, you got a 6% chance of getting 3 times logs. Which is, like, when you think about it, it's absolutely insane. Like, basically, you're most likely going to have, like, about 400 taps, like, for a BC. Like, so 500, 600 taps as BC. And I gotta say right now, you know what's gonna happen? Just after I do most of this, they're gonna buff like logging, so you get more from the things, and I'm gonna be super, super annoyed about it. Like, that's exactly what's gonna happen, okay? I'm just gonna call it out now. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Is they're gonna nerf, like, either, like, they're gonna buff how much wood you get from, like, older expansions. Or they're gonna nerf how much wood the professions take. Or they're also gonna probably, I'm not sure, bullshit, I got double free so far. That's good. I remember doing these quest chains back in the day. If you were like, basically, if you were a scry, it doesn't really matter if your scries are outdoor. If you wanted to get out of here quickly, like basically if you're close to getting out to Nagrand, or sorry, yeah, it was Nagrand you did after this, or Blade's Edge or anything like that, you would go outdoor because all the outdoor quests are done earlier. But if you were going to stay in the zone for quite a while, you would do Scryer, because Scryer, like, all their quests come a bit later as well once you get to Firewing Point. So yeah, that was the main thing overall. Oh, Adamantite. I think we can get Adamantite flakes. I don't think. Oh, good start with a loon from that. Yeah, I was wondering why I was getting 7 ore in one go, and I realized that they front loaded it now where you don't have to do multiple taps. I remember back in the day when you had to do multiple taps, it was not fun. There we go. Like, at some points, like, I think some nodes in particular, you, like, if you're trying to sneak in and kill a mob, you had to, like, sneakily tap it or sap it. And hope you get multiple taps at it. Which, I guess most times was diabolical. Now, this area does have an air thing called Nightmare Vine, which you may want to pick up too. And also, you get a thing called Fell Blossoms. This is where they started beginning this crap with the like professions get little perks and whatnot. Like I say right now, Fell Blossoms were never used. They were pretty shit, to be honest. Like, they were 1.1k absorb shields, which is not really that great in the scheme of things. I think I should have actually headed to Nagrand instead of going into Shadowmoon Valley. Funnily enough, like with the Arakoa here, so there was no so the Arakoa here, they had to match it in the Draenor area of why they would flee over there. So that's why Spires of Iraq is like here, like in the zone. Spire of Iraq is down here because they had to match it with the other zones basically. The funny thing though is that Farallon is never mentioned in the game. Because obviously Blade's Edge Mountains is Frostfire Ridge and Gorgoron combined. Zenga Marsh doesn't exist because there's an ocean between here. But they never ever actually explain Farallon because Farallon doesn't appear in Draenor. Also as well, by the way, I did start, actually, I gotta check a few things on beta as well. But yeah, I might start doing testing on beta as well, sooner rather than later. Definitely in the new year I'll start it. Because I did check like a few things, like how much EXP they give and whatnot. We're doing a few testing today, whether or not like the weekly warrant quests, do they skip through to next week? So do you keep those quests, like the quest itself? And, you know, can we get a new one the week afterwards as well? So, like, all of our things could be just quests in Karash, which make it a lot easier. And what I was thinking of doing is, like, well, actually it doesn't really matter, but either way, like, you know, I was thinking of having those quests because, like, a lot of them are handed in at Karash. Or handed in instantly once you've done the quest. which, you know, you can be done while you're flying around, which is what I probably would like to do. Funnily enough though, okay, you know how I mentioned that, you know, the +3s are hard to get. I got back-to-back +3s on the logging, by the way. I like how I'm taking an axe to, like, their fortress here. Like, there's an Arako fortress, and I'm, like, going bang, bang, bang with the axe. I don't think they're gonna appreciate me doing that, to be honest. Oh, yeah, it's 2 seconds, guys. I gotta check in on someone. Yeah, how much I got this? Damn. Yeah, there we go. I was just making sure she got the donation. Okay, so I put it this way, guys. Okay, my cousin, my nephew, okay, really loves this fucking giraffe toy, and I remembered like one time, like, oh yeah, you know, I was going, you know, gonna say hi to Freya because I haven't said hi to her in a long time because we used to play Among Us with like a whole bunch of people for a long time. And my nephew loves this fucking giraffe toy, okay? And Frey's entire thing is about her. I think it was like Gerald the giraffe and Geraldine the giraffe is like the bigger giraffe. And I was like, oh yeah, I haven't talked to her in ages. So yeah, thought I'd drop in and say hi. And they excommunicated a Josh, so now Josh number 5. So if you guys don't know, they're part of the UK crew. So if you don't know the lowdown of what happened, but yeah, apparently there was something that happened which involved one of the other Joshes that, because she knows a lot of Joshes, okay, that's the meme. Because like I think she like before she met, because her husband is called Josh, but like when she was like meeting all these people including Simon and whatnot, there was like 4 Joshes like instantly that she knew of. So it became a running joke that like there was like so many Joshes and whatnot, and I was Josh number 6. I think there's like, I'm not sure how many Joshes there are. I think there's about 14 or 15 Joshes at this point. Like there's a ton of Joshes. I thought I would have more trees here. The reason why I came here is I thought there would be more trees in Nagrand. It turns out to be a bit less. But no, so I wanted to make sure she got my donation because I just want to say hi, you know, again, because she's pretty good. Freya's very, very awesome. And like I haven't hung out with any of the UK crew because I did try to catch up with Kay while she was in she was at DreamHack, because like this is the thing with a lot of the UK crew, they don't go to events outside the UK. Like, you know, for example, if you want, like I'd asked a few of them if they wanted to come out to Stockholm to like hang out at Stockholm, and they were hesitant to go outside England because obviously you have to get your passport and whatnot as well because of Brexit and whatnot. And also COVID had occurred at the same time, so a lot of them were a bit cautious due to that. They didn't want to catch COVID. And obviously with going to DreamHack and going to festivals in general, it's more of a business decision whether you go or not. Like, you need to make sure that you are going somewhere and getting paid and whatnot. So yeah, and also as well, like I couldn't get the side. I think one of them was they couldn't get the sidemen to go to one of them, and they were trying to get the sidemen scheduled, so that would have got like a lot of them over, but that fell through in the end. So if you're unaware with Freya, like she's wife to Josh Circa of the sidemen. And how he makes, I had no idea at all at the time, like, what their relation was and whatnot with like any of these people when I was playing in the Nerd Out Stuff Discord. I think she's moved on from that. I think a lot of them moved on from that and like did their own thing in particular. So yeah. Dude, you got another free. So I think I've got 15 low limber armor. I'm wondering if mushrooms count as trees, given that we're into Zangamosh. But yeah, so like something happened there with Josh Element. It's I guess right now it's pretty public on Twitter. With his ex-girlfriend, who is Kara. Not Corvus, but Kara, I think it's like Captain Puffy. I've never really interacted with her contact, like she's really more chill Minecraft streamer. And they were together for ages, and I assumed that they were like, you know, still together on the down low and whatnot. Like, you know how like when you get in a relationship, like it's really out there at first, and then later on it's just more chilled mellow, that like everyone knows you're together, but like there's not really much to it. Like, you know, they're not, you know, it's not always like having it, flaunting it and whatnot. You know, it's more of those chill down low where it's still vibing sort of thing. But no, it turns out it was really like, you know, messy sort of breakup sort of thing. And yeah, like it was very, I'll put it this way, it was very indictful on Ellen as a person, of what Ellen was doing with Puffy in particular. Like, for example, like there was like instances where like trying to control the money, trying to control certain things and whatnot like that, like not taking care of things and stuff like that, and like the important things that you need to be there for and whatnot, you're missing and stuff like that. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that were indictful to his character, and that did not help at all. And like basically overall, like essentially all the UK streamers just dropped him because he was just treating like he was not treating Kara very well. You know, I can't say allegedly because I don't know, but that's what it is. And you know, given that I trust, like overall, I'd say as a person I trust Freya quite a lot as like a person with a good instinct, because she's really, like, Freya's incredible on Among Us at reading people as well. Like, she rarely gets shit wrong. Kind of trust her instinct on this one, because I think she's like, let's put it this way, like, you know, I'd be very surprised, you know, if Freya's judgment was sort of wrong, because she's generally pretty spot on a lot of these things. Anyways, be right back, I'm gonna get a drink. But like, it's yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you know, I'm not really picking a side per se, but I probably, like, you know, if I did, I'd probably trust like Freya's side and tell Freya's judgment over anything. But yeah, I was like really ultra disappointed that it ended like that. And I did wanted to collab with them a bit more, but once you're like a small streamer and you're in Australia as well, it's just not going to happen. Like, it's just not going to happen with like collabing with people in NA and EU. Especially when I work as well. It's just not going to happen. Like, for example, Nerd Out, like, for example, this is how like a lot of us met with each other and whatnot, from the Americans and the Europeans and whatnot. Like, with like Nerd Out stuff, like a lot of it was like awfully timed for Australia. Like for example, I think the Fallout stuff. So not Fallout, was Fall Guys. It's like 5 a.m. my time and 4 a.m. my time as well. And I had Among Us with Kara, and my fucking Among Us broke at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I was just so annoyed, like so annoyed, and I just like turned off stream and went to bed. It didn't work at like 3 a.m. because I was staying up for the lobby. But yeah, you know, that's sort of things as well. Like with NA and EU, it's like really difficult to sort of collab at times, especially like not like if I was doing this full time, it would be a bit easier because, you know, it's just, you know, waking up a bit early and whatnot, and like your sleep schedule in particular as a streamer, not that it's non-existent, but you know, it can be moved around for certain things. And like you wouldn't be missing too much because, you know, as long as your 8 hours isn't sleeping between 9 to 5, you know, you could always chuck in for the shops a bit later and whatnot as well. Like it's not, you, other than like the normal shit you have to do during business hours, you don't miss too much if you adjust for like a one-off collab. That's what I'm referring to when I refer to that. How many Alemba have I got? I think 75. Yep. Okay. Cool. So that's what I mean by that in particular. So like. And also, not to mention as well, I'm not really a big streamer. Like, with the Among Us and whatnot, like, when I played Among Us and all that shit, I dropped viewership by doing that. It was more like a sacrifice for me. While, like, a lot of other people grew and whatnot. And I just think overall, like, I just wasn't really too fun when playing Among Us. Because, like, you know, a lot of people are entertaining and fun and whatnot, really talkative and whatnot. I get really too focused in these game elements and whatnot. Like, way too focused. And like sometimes just didn't focus on having a good time, having fun or whatnot. So yeah, probably didn't help me either. Either way, it was relatively fun. And yeah, I gotta say I got to see and meet a lot of people from it as well. And like I always try to catch up and whatnot, but then it gets to a point where you just become annoying and they just don't associate with you. Well, not annoyed, associated with you, or just... No, that's a mean thing to say, actually, about myself. It's just people drift apart. Let's put it that way. People just drift apart. And that's what happened with a few of the guys as well. It's just they drift apart, and, you know... They get into their own little groups and whatnot as well. Did I just get blind weed? I did too. What the fuck? Just FYI, blind weed is a classic herb. So how much do I need to get? I need to get 916. Okay, cool. Do I have to round up or round down? The shadow thing. Shadow moon I need to get 440. Okay, so it needs to be rounded up. But yeah, so those are the sort of things that like what happened in particular. And there are a lot of other UK people as well. But like Freya was the only one I remembered over the fucking giraffe, okay? The giraffe that she has with Gerald and Geraldine. And also used to lurk in her streams as well because like she's very like during Tuesdays because she streams on Tuesdays unlike most WoW streamers. She is very like relaxing and fun to like lurk to because she does like little wordles and whatnot. So like basically I just lurk in that stream and chill for a bit. And I used to do Among Us back in the day as well, and I came into one of the lobbies and it's just like one of those infamous clips of basically Freya just getting Freya not getting bamboozled. Freya knew it was me, but no one in the lobby would believe that it was me. And they lost because of it. Even though like Freya called me out in the first fucking round on being imposter, which was like I said right now, incredible. That's why I believe she has a good judge of character in the fact that she doesn't even know me that well, but she noticed that I had a change of tone. Like instantly in the first round, I'm like, that's a person who's got a very, very good judge of character. If she can tell someone's switching up their personality like that. But yeah, that was like, I can say right now, that was like 5 years ago. That was like 4 or 5 years ago, actually. It's during the COVID times. I remember one time, I think I got up, because I think it was, this was like, you know, Rifkin, this is Base Trade, of course, Base Trade TV, obviously StarCraft 2 Cancer. Cast, no. According to Reddit, he's a StarCraft 2 cancer, even though he's like, this is the worst part about him in particular. The StarCraft 2 community treated him like shit, to be honest. Like a lot of people on Reddit, like reading some of their threads and how they were, what they were saying about Rifkin and shit like that. I was like, mate, this cunt is your only caster, and you want to chase him off? Like, fuck, your scene will be irrelevant without him. But anyway, enough about that. But you know, one of my first lobbies was through him in particular, because obviously I'd subscribed to him and whatnot, you know, as well. And like, I remember the first time he was doing a lobby with a few big streamers, and dude, the guy was shitting his pants. Like, I don't think I can. He was just trying to keep the lobby cool and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know, he's relatively entertaining. I'm like, dude, you'll be fine. And you know, he's doing really, really fine now. And the main reason why he was shitting his pants was a bit later. He said that he was really, you know, when like he was switching from StarCraft 2 casting to being our own personality streamer, and that's a big difference, because with StarCraft 2 casting, he would get, let's say, 1k to 2k viewers, and you know how like some people focus on the metrics too much, like, you know, people focus on the numbers, and that is it. And he was a bit worried how his metrics would look if he's not doing StarCraft 2. I gotta say, that's every caster's big worry, is that without the game of, you know, professionals and whatnot, where is your stream going to end up? Yeah, that's like a really, really big worry for a lot of casters. Like, you know, without the game, where the stream would end up. Because there are a few people that, you know, that end up nowhere. Like, they start streaming other games and they get 3 to 4 viewers and that's it. Compared to like the 700, 800 viewers they get for casting a CS2 game, for example. You know, stuff like that. So, he was incredibly worried about it. Like, he was incredibly worried on how that would go. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's understandable. And I also said to him, like, I don't think you have to be worried too much, because I think, you're entertaining, you've got this in space. And it was a really, really good night. And I met a few more people from his crew as well, through that way as well. And then obviously went to, that's how I got to the UK crew as well, and a few other people as well. It was relatively fun. Oh, shit. So yeah, I'm trying to think of all the other guys as well. There's a lot of other crews, a lot of other interesting things that happened as well. Like at one point during COVID, there was this guy who was faking to be a part of FaZe. His name was like FaZe Cobain, I believe. And he was doing every single trick in the book to, by the way, there's a few bugged mobs if you didn't see that. He was trying every single trick in the book to try and get himself money and trying to get himself Twitch partner. Just FYI, he is, I'm very sure he is no longer doing, oh no, I think he is doing YouTube videos. Last time he was trying to do, Forex. Let's see if I can find it. I forget his name, but his name was like FaZe Cobain Fortnite, okay? So, yeah, so what happened was that he was doing all these, like, scams and whatnot. Like, for example, he was, like, trying to, so he got, like, a lurk for Discord, and he got, like, 200 viewers. And, like, what he would do was, like, he would advertise to other streamers, like, would you like a basic streamer pack? You know, I can sell you this for $50, and I'll raid you every single time. Like, basically, he did a Discord, like, you know, oh, I'll raid you guys from time to time, be all good and whatnot. And then it turned out he was just selling viewerships to other streamers to try and get a quick buck. And, so it turns out in the end that he was being view botted. His moderators who were running a Discord were all being view botted as well. And, obviously he was, trying to sell us for money basically as well. And I thought something was up, like, at the start of it when it was just him receiving all the benefits and no one else receiving any benefits, which is a hallmark of most lurk Discords. So, yeah. So in the end, because I kept the monitor on him because I wanted to know where he was going. So in case he became big or anything like that, or if he tried to scam anyone else, I could be like, yo, dude, stop. This guy is not trustworthy at all. Get the fuck away from him, okay? And so I remember when he was trying to get the tick symbol on Twitter, and Twitter won't give him a tick symbol because he scammed people. And so what happened is that after he did the streaming stuff, he almost got kicked out of his house because he was 18 at the time, which was about a long time ago. He got kicked out of his house because obviously he wasn't getting any income from it. So what happened is that, and also that his parents, I believe, wanted him to get a job. So he got a job in a phone store, okay? And if you ever remember that time when Fortnite did like a thing where if you had a Samsung phone, you could get a certain Fortnite skin. And I gotta say, you guys can eventually guess what happened, okay? Like, you know, the guy who worked at the phone store had a lot of Samsung phones. So what he did was he activated those Samsung phones, and basically got the Fortnite skins, and then sold those to kids, basically. So he made a lot on it, but problem is with the Samsung thing is that he needed the account details before he could do anything of it. Oh, damn. There's also a guy doing this as well. I was wondering who was farming these. Because someone was basically... maybe I should go somewhere else. If he's doing this as well. Would Blaze Edge Mountain be better? I'm not sure how much trees Blaze Edge Mountain's got. I don't think too much, does it? Well, I definitely know these areas won't have trees. Fuck me. So I'm just checking if these areas have trees. So yeah, pretty much, there's that sort of stuff you're carrying. Like that was a big sussy bussy. That's what, like, basically that came out like 2 to 3 weeks after he was doing it. That people found out that he was like, he basically said he was working in a phone store, and then someone pieced together and basically said, so basically you're activating Samsung phones without your owner knowing and selling Fortnite skins. And just FYI, he got fired from his job. Like, I think it was like a month or 2 months later, he got fired from his job for doing that. Because obviously that's, to anyone, that is a big no-no. You don't do that. That's illegal, basically. Because what happened, which is the people who were buying Samsung phones, one of them was doing it for the Fortnite skin, and their phone was unable to get the Fortnite skin because it had already been activated on that phone. And yeah, they found that he was the one that was doing it. So yeah. Now this is even the worst part. You think that's scummy? The fact is, he had like a lot of kids' login information. So what he would do is like 2 to 3 weeks later, he would hack that kid's account and then transfer. I think he could transfer skins or something like that. Or was it selling accounts? I think what he did was he took their account and then hacked and then changed everything and then sold those accounts to make money or something like that. Or like sold the skins or whatever. And alternatively as well is that some of the skins that he sold previously were rolled back. So yeah, let's just put it that way, that he had a lot of people angry at him. And so what happened was that he was doing the scamming and hacking stuff as well. He was nickel and diming people. So what he had to do to cover it up, not only did what else he was doing as well, was that anyone who tried to reveal it, that he was scamming people, he would block them on Twitter. So you would never see their responses, basically. And also he would like block them on Twitter. If he got too much, he would like delete the tweet, basically, so you couldn't see it, that he had been doing this sort of stuff. And around about this time, his mod did like a big expose on him as well, which garnered no traction because the reason why it garnered no traction because they found out that he was viewbotting himself, which was really, really sad. So like pretty much it was like basically a big happy family of people who were like let's put it this way, very a bunch of people who are like all lying stooges and whatnot, like, you know, we're lying about everything and whatnot. And I think I met like one guy through it, and I think that guy quit streaming after like I think the 4th expose, and I just left that Discord. So yeah. But I still followed that guy along and along and along, okay? To see what scam he would get up to next. So I did tell him straight up, I'm like, bro, like, stop trying to scam people, stop trying to, like, he did the good old, oh, I apologize, I know what I did wrong, and then next week he's up to the same bullshit. And I'm like, mate, try building something. Like, stop doing this harebrained, get rich quick shit that clearly haven't worked. And then after the Fortnite stuff, like, basically to try and get his street cred back, he basically had run this campaign to, like, you know, I think it's like Cobain Real or something like that. That, like, you know, he didn't scam or anything like that. Like, he tried to get that promoted on Twitter against the, you know, of course, like, Cobain's a scammer and whatnot. And, I'll tell you right now, I can tell you right now, it worked with mixed results, okay? One, it highlighted him scamming people a lot more. And, because obviously some of the people would make burner accounts and just quote tweet the tweet. And then, like, link all the scams that he's done and whatnot. And in the end, obviously Fortnite's popularity died out, and like a lot of the skins now are not like limited to like having certain phones and whatnot. That he got out of Fortnite and he started doing share advice, okay, stock advice, where he would like, you know, say, you know, how he invests his money and whatnot and stuff like that. And he was doing like the same, like, dude, he was like farming YouTube like videos with the same like 5 stock images of him going like the different changing faces, like, you know, stuff like that as well. And it was very, very discouraging to see, okay? Like, I was just sitting there being like, holy shit, bro, you are a yeah, I just had to giggle at it because I'm just like, yeah, I know this is clickbait because of course you want to make it onto YouTube, but like he's talking about like 10 times in your money and whatnot and stuff like that, and everything like that. And then what started happening after this was that he started to run competitions where, like, if you reply to this post, you know, you have a chance to win $50 or whatever. And then he started upping it to like $1,000 and $500 and whatnot. And so this is the weird thing that occurred, because of course I can tell you right now, it was a scam. Lo and behold, it was a scam again. Was that none of the people that won the competition ever received their money. Okay, like there was very few people who won the competition and received their money. And also not at the same time, there were some people who won the competition but never responded to his post. Okay, they didn't meet the eligibility criteria. And so you can see where this is going, okay? And people suspect that was his own accounts, so he could pump up his engagement or whatnot. And then people found out that A, he wasn't paying the prize money because apparently some random won like $500 and he never paid him. And like it turns out that he couldn't really afford any of the payments, so his giveaways went from $10,000, you know, $5,000 to $10,000 to $50, $100, because that's all he fucking had. And obviously, you know, when you trying to give away like $50 or, you know, $10 that no one even bats an eyelid at it, and, you know, he was worried about that. And then he went into the Forex shit, like he went hard in the Forex stuff, and he was getting like a depressing like 400 to 500 views on his YouTube channels and whatnot from it. And I'm just sitting there being like, and also not to mention as well, this guy was bragging about having 40k followers on Twitter, and they were clearly botted, because like he was getting like 20 impressions on a 50k, you know, follower Twitter account, and like he was trying to say he's not botted, and like Social Blade was like this, like he with his followers, like he suddenly gained 30,000 followers out of nowhere, and like his Twitch was the same shit, and it's just like, bro, like fuck me, like stop trying to say that you're not botting. Like the hallmarks of botting were like all there. And yeah, so he became Forex, and I enjoyed his Forex and his share tips because they were the most basic shit I have ever heard of. And like, I don't think he realized that you can't fake it in Forex. I know you can fake it in Forex, you know, now you can, obviously. But at that point, he couldn't really fake the returns he was getting. So he was like, how I made $10 into $120. And as this turns out, he had like one lucky, you know, exchange or trade in his favor. And it just got, you know, crazy from there. Like, how to turn $100 to $1,000 and whatnot. And like, he was like, you know, saying, oh, I'm building a system. And I'm like, bro, that system's like a one-off. It just worked on a one-off sort of thing. Like, it's not... Let's put it this way. It wasn't like, it was just more like his adventure of gaining money, not a guide to gaining money. And then eventually he got like sponsored by some shady broker sites and like heavily promoted that. And he was just getting like 1,800 viewership every single time. And you could tell by the end of it that he was just getting sick and tired. Like he was like just burnt out of trying to do content creation and whatnot. And like doing this sort of stuff because like in this scenario, he was just way out of his depth because there's too many people who do Forex. And I said to him previously before he got into the shit, I'm like, dude, I think you just need to get a job and just realize what hard work is before you get back in the game. And he did so much like get rich quick sort of shit. And he kept trying as well, like with stock advice, you know, how everyone's like a stock trader or whatever these days, and they try to day trade and whatnot. And he's just never gonna make it because like the kid was doing nothing special whatsoever. And like most of the lies that people tell in that area of content creation is fucking ludicrous. But like where people be like, oh, you know, 300x my money and whatnot. And like, you know, he couldn't do it obviously because he didn't know the right people. And I'm very sure he's quit content creation by this time. Meanwhile, the other dude that, you know, I looked, actually he came from the Lurk for Lurk. He was like, you know, he was like a kid. Like he's just straight out of uni. And although about to go into uni. And he basically was going to quit uni to go into content creation full time on like a less than average viewers of 10. And I had to heavily deter him from it. Because I'm like, bro, do not ruin your fucking life. That's what I said to him. Like, do not do this. You like a lot of, like, I had to tell him like all these big streamers and whatnot, like PewDiePie and whatnot as well. They did not go full-time content creation. With that, like, you know, what they did before they went full-time content creation, they had a job. Like they worked at certain areas and whatnot. And in the end, like he did it, like his uni, he's able to balance out uni and making content, and he made like a variety of content like with Overwatch, Borderlands, and got really good at editing as well. Borderlands and various other games. He actually did relatively well in Borderlands, like you different weapon types and whatnot for Borderlands 3. Like he did relatively well with it, and I was really, really happy for him that he did well with it because like you get that one video that pops off. But yeah, then he got into streaming, and I think overall he realized, like, I think it was like 6 months later, that streaming wasn't for him. Because he would get like an average of like 7 to 10 viewers. But YouTube he was very, very good at. And I think in the end, because I'm not sure if he still does his YouTube anymore, because I forgot his username because it's been so fucking long. But I did see his name editing for another channel, for a few other channels as well, and I'm like, that's good, you know, he got something out of it in the end. And I think he did something media-wise at uni as well, which would really, really help with editing and whatnot. But that's like a feel-good story in the end of like, you know, because he was also in that Lurk for Lurk Discord, and I got really concerned when he was talking about going full-time Twitch when he was like 17 and just out of school. I'm like, mate, don't. So I think I was watching another WoW streamer at the time. I forget his name. I've got the name on the tip of my tongue. He's a WoW streamer. He lives in Turkey. And his nephew was basically saying like, you know, oh, I want to stream too. And this guy was like, mate, no, you don't stream, period. Like he basically told him like, you don't start streaming until you got a degree. I'm trying to find his name actually, because he should be on about now. Trying to find his name. Musclebra, that's right, that's his name, Musclebra. And the reason why I got into action with this kid is because I heard Musclebra say this, and I'm like, yeah, I better tell this kid not to throw away his life either, because Musclebra was talking about how like a lot of people who are younger and whatnot who like look at streaming and think it's like super profitable and that they can be the next PewDiePie and whatnot, when in reality is like 98% of the streamers that have gone full time is basically struggling to get a minimum wage. Well, not 98%, but like, you know, basically 60 to 50, 60% of them who are doing it full time are struggling to get minimum wage. And I'm like, you know, fortunately, he was a good story out of it. The other guy, you know, that was trying to go do this like get rich quick stuff. I couldn't convince him to stop doing it. I was just telling him over and over again, like, mate, you know it's not working. You tried all the bullshit, you know, bullshit ways to get viewers, like giveaways and whatnot. And it's just not real. People are there for the giveaways. They're not here for your content. Okay, I found him. Okay, I found him. I'm not the editor. I found the scammer dude. Oh, that's right. He advertised a campaign called TJ Legit. The scammer dude. Because his main account got banned. Oh no, his main account got suspended. Obviously, let me see if he still exists on YouTube. Oh no, here we go. My god, he's still botting the Forex trading, my god. How old are some of this shit? Dude, he's still posting this fucking get rich quick stuff and he's like, This guy's a very interesting person, okay? Like, I'll show you what I mean, okay? This guy has 33.6k subscribers, okay? But of YouTube videos, he can only make this much, okay? Like, less than 1k viewers, okay? 1k views on any of his like 4x sort of stuff. But he's still doing the same bullshit over and over again. And it's like most popular video is 15k of doing 4x stuff. Mate, poor kid. He's still doing it. I don't remember the other guy's name, but the other guy's like doing, I guess, say more better than he is, and he isn't buying shit. This was bad, by the way. I found that guy back in 2019 and 2020. And I'm just like, oh boy, man. So now this guy is going into gold trading. Like, you know, he's the gold maestro now, okay? He's the expert in gold. Just like he was the expert in Forex and all these other things as well. No doubt he'll be the one saying, you know, gold's outperformed the S&P 500 since January 2000. But if you want to know now, people trying to justify recommending gold because gold's at a higher price compared to S&P 500 at January 2000. However, if you do any other time frame outside at that 2000 date, the S&P 500's performed better from a capital perspective. I can't find a comparison between the S&P 500 accumulation index because they will never post it. And I can't find the S&P 500 accumulation index either. Because gold's gone on a bit of a run at the moment. And the reason why you want to get S&P 500 accumulation index is because the S&P 500's performance doesn't include dividends. So like the S&P 500 could go down, but it could go down because it paid 3% in dividends. So it's like you got to assume with accumulation index that's been reinvested to make it more of a fair deal. Because with gold, like gold doesn't pay income. It's more of a capital internal investment, obviously, or more speculative investment. And I remember getting like a really, really rude response from one of the guys being like, "Oh no, you don't do that with your gold." I'm like, "Yeah, you're not paying apples with apples then, because you're not comparing the fact that when the index goes down from paying dividends, you're not considering those dividends to be a ownership of that. You know, it's considered not invested basically." I wonder if people listen to like sort of stuff I'm talking about. But yeah, I can't, like when I was trying to prove my point against one of the guys on Twitter that like I think the S&P 500 would beat gold, I couldn't find an S&P 500 like index, like accumulation index to compare against. And they are actually right. Gold has outperformed S&P 500 since January 1st, 2000. Like gold has outperformed it. But the thing is of why it has is that January 2000 was where like everything was at a high point in the market before the dot-com crash. So what happens is like here, gold goes up, but the S&P 500 never really recovers from the dot boom crash. Like it gets close before the GFC and then gold skyrockets again. But if you do it from inception or you do it from a later date, the S&P 500 just clears gold. And you gotta be careful with a lot of these people as well. Is that you gotta do your own research. Funnily enough, as all crypto bros say you should do. You should do your own research, and you should also do your own comparisons as well. Because a lot of these people who do these comparisons, there's specific reasons why they pick specific dates. Okay, and it's because that's where the investment performs the best. And it's really, really obvious if the date's like, you know, 1st of November or something like that, or like an odd date to pick. But gold was very fortunate that it was the 1st of January that it outperformed everything. So yeah. So I think I need 920 of the cell logs. They are going to make this easier, aren't they? So yeah, that's my exciting world of like trying to educate people now. I've got another one which I don't know really how to respond to. Not that I care too much, but there's always like falsities like this stuff building for it as well. They're saying financial planning and whatnot is like a useless career. And they're like talking about how like financial advisors charge like 1% in fees and 2% in management fees and whatnot. And I'm like sitting here being, I've never seen a fund or managed fund or investment fee be over like 2%, let alone like for an index fund, let alone 1%. And I swear to God, some people like look at an active fund and be like, oh my God, they're charging 2%. It's like, yeah, bro, they're in like the small capital markets of every fucking like, you know, index, which is an incredibly, incredibly expensive thing to do, especially if you're being active. But like, there's not many funds that do that. And also if there's funds that do that with private equity as well, they're generally like, you know, very specialist, and they have to include high net worth clients that can't be small fries, basically. And And they tell you straight up that's the case. Like, if you, like, you know, you have to be a wholesale client to invest into it. Because there's going to be a lot of risk involved. So anyway. So yeah, like, I'm not sure how to respond to that. Because, like, some guy was like, oh, they charge 1%, then they charge 5% entry, 5% exit, and then they charge a 2% management fee. You don't get any returns. They get all the returns because your returns are basically charging fees. And I'm like, that is the biggest lump of bullshit I have ever heard from anyone. And then also as well, they do the good old, oh, they just, you know, they only give investment advice. They don't give advice on any other areas and whatnot. And I'm just like sitting there being like, bro, like, one of you guys are going to lose a lot of money because you invested or did the wrong thing. And you're going to pay like a large capital gain because of it, because you didn't have an accountant or a financial advisor. Because you are very fear-averse, basically. And like, tend to need for a lot of these people as well, that they will invest into something that their friends or mates invested into, and like lose a lot of their money. And then, like, you know, always go back to like the financial advisor did this or whatever it is. Well, not the financial advisor, but like, you know, like, they will still, like, hate on financial advisors, even though if they did get one, they wouldn't be in that situation. Like, for example, one of the people that we were, they didn't go with us in the end because the damage had been done and there's, like, no way to really reverse it, sort of thing, with, what they had, done over time. So, with their situation, is you like, I guess right now you guys are gonna find this unbelievable if you're more financially savvy, but overall they're trying to be getting their business place inside of Super, and there's a thing such as the small business concessions where you can, if you sell something like your goodwill or stuff like that, or like your property involved in your business, you know, that was used as an office or whatever's considered an active asset, you can put some of the proceeds of that into Super. And what had happened was their accountant had recommended this client in particularly. We couldn't get them to, like, you know, we couldn't get the accountant to be like, no, I messed up and whatnot. But we're trying to get, like, you know, rely on small business concessions to get the rest of the property in. Because what was happening was that they were paying stamp duty because they would sell bits of the property to the SMSF over time. And basically, me and my senior advisor at the time were like, why don't you just get a loan, and if you get a loan and purchase it outright, or you sell because they were trying to retire, and it's like, oh, you just sell the business and the property, and you put all of it into Super and have no stamp duty because the Super fund isn't paying any stamp duty because you're using the property proceeds to put it in. So what was happening is that they were, let's say for example, the property was $550,000 for some reason. They were putting $110,000 in each year, so you're selling $110,000 of property, put it into Super, paying stamp duty because you have to pay stamp duty on that, which is about $1,000, like probably about $1,000 or so. And they were doing it every single time, and they put about like up to $330,000 in, and they were being charged like $3,300 in stamp duty because, of course, the SMSF is purchasing an asset and using it as a contribution. It's just like, you're losing $1,000 every time you do this. Actually, I think it's a bit more. I think it's 10,000. Like, it was a lot of money by putting the money in over and over again. And we're trying to find a strategy overall, because we're trying to give them an idea of their scenario, of what their scenario looks like, and what we could do to help them and whatever it is. And what we did overall was we utilized a lot of their before tax caps and a lot of, you know, allocations of trust and whatnot to try and like slowly unwind this position and get the maximum amount to Super as we could, because they were like turning 75 sooner and later as well. And they didn't go ahead of our advice in the end. We charged about 5.5 for it because it was like really in depth. Sorry, not 5.577, because it was really, really in depth, like capital gains calculations on multiple properties and stuff like that, and business advice, and also small business concessions advice as well, which you had to get the accountant to tick off on. And like, they didn't go with us in the end. And I'm like, we proved that your accountant has cost you like 30 grand in stamp duty, Or maybe a bit less stamp duty. You know what? I'll just check the... Let me get it out for you. Actually, it was about $2,000. It was about 2.1k per transaction, so about $6,000 in stamp duty. And like our strategy would save them like all that stamp duty they already paid. And it was just like, it's just unbelievable. But I think in the end they did the same strategy the account recommended, and I think they've costed themselves like $20,000 in stamp duty, when realistically they could have got all the business property in without any stamp duty being paid. Once they had sold it and got small business concessions. Which was the better strategy. And also, that's right, they also paid capital gains as well. Because they sold the property to the SMSF, which means they trigger taxable income. So it would have been like a lot of money. And we basically said, like, you can't have, like, this taxable income occur when you've got, like, actual properties held in your own names that you may want to sell as well. Because, like, they held property in their own names that had capital gains associated with it, and there was, like, significant capital gains. And it's just like, yeah. It was a bit annoying that we didn't get that clients. Like, one of those clients where we could, like, we could help out a lot on it. But no, like, you know, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if the accountant of it is being sued for lots of money at the moment. Because that's, like, I could say, pretty much potentially like $80,000 to $100,000 lost in tax and stamp duty. But it was just absolutely crazy when I read all of that. I was just like, what the fuck? But yeah, you know, it was just it's just unfortunate with a lot of like financial advice stuff. Like, someone can trust someone a lot and they'll go with them over you, especially if they've spent a long time together as well. And like, it was really hard for me to be like, you know, I didn't want to say outright that the accountant had literally fucked them so badly. Like, the accountant had no idea what they were doing. I just couldn't say that. Because obviously they'd worked a long time with them as well. Like, oh man. I just, like, when I was looking at that tax returns and I'm just like, what? I just couldn't believe it. I just literally couldn't believe it. Oh, can we? Oh yeah, we can farm the same ones. Both of you can see, like, both like everyone is just leveling druids to do this sort of shit. Am I in war mode? I am, probably because a lot of people are not in war mode and doing this. Oh, man. I think that's been, like I say, it's been 7 to 8 years since we saw that client. Because I wrote the advice and everything, okay? Like, the advice was like, me and my senior advisor, my boss, basically went through that. And, you know, like, ascertaining all the things, making sure we had everything correct, confirming with the accountant on certain things and whatnot. I think they should be well in their retirement. Like, the issue wasn't whether they could retire well. They could retire well relatively easily and, like, slowly, bit by bit, you know, unwind their tax positions and unlock all of their money liquidity-wise. Because the main thing what we wanted to do is because, since they're getting to 75 and whatnot and retiring, we wanted to make sure that we unwind a lot of these capital gain positions because the worst thing to have in particular is lack of liquidity, especially when you're older, and especially if you're going to go into aged care, because a lack of liquidity can absolutely kill you, because you have to put marginal loans against things, and they will basically eat up your equity. And yeah, like you'd rather have like, you know, paying the capital gains than having the money going to a bank or whatever. Like, we'll try to space it out over like multiple years if we could. And also, we're trying to get as much as we could into superannuation, which would have been a lot better for them overall, where we get to a situation where we could have, like, a lot of rich people do this as well. Now, obviously, this has been shut off with, like, the 3 mil cap and whatnot. So, not the 3 mil cap, the transfer balance cap, which is 2.1 mil. But, like, you get as much into super where you can, put stuff back into accumulation. So, that's what we're looking to do, is that, like, if they didn't need all the funds at once, we can just shift some of it back to accumulation, and that's it. It'll just stay in there, and it'll be taxed at 15% rather than natural tax rate, which would have been much higher. There's a few clients that I do that with as well, where like they've they don't need what they take out basically. So like they only have one pension, because if they take it all out, they're being taxed in their own name now. So they keep all of it into super and take out what they need and when they need it, because they're being taxed, let's say for example 30% in their own name, which is kind of stupid. Like, say for example, you're being taxed about 30% in your own name, and you take money out of an environment that's taxed at 0% and put it at 30, when you could have just put it back into a 15% tax environment and take it out whenever. You're shooting yourself in the foot. But like I say, that's in this day and age for like those sort of clients, it is very, very rare for that to occur, where it's where it's going to be beneficial for you to keep your money in super and keep it ticking along and take it out whenever. I did ask one of my clients that as well, because they're in one of those boats where they're very well off. And I'm like, do you guys still want the 5% or 4% being paid out, or do you want me to just lock it away and then you take it out in drips and drabs whenever you need it? So I asked them about that, and they're like, nah, we're just basically spoiling our kids. That's basically what they said. And I'm like, okay, we'll keep doing that. Because I basically told them, like, you know, this is what happens. Like, for example, like, if you were to, like, put money in a good, you know, 15% environment, which is much better than any of your kids or anything like that, we can keep it in here. And they're just like, no, you know what, we're just giving early inheritance to our kids, straight up. So basically, they answered that question for me. You know? That's what I said to them, like, you know, is that what you're going to do? And like, nah. You know, we're going to help out our kids a lot now that I don't need. And I'm like, okay, that's exactly what you want to earn. That's what your goal is. Like I say, with them in particular though, trying to get them to re-diversify their portfolio has been a relatively difficult task. But, you know, I'm still trying. Like, it's like with a lot of the elderly people and whatnot, like, some of these people have never ever invested in shares before. This is the first time when they went to a financial advisor, is the first time they've ever invested in shares. So, like, some of the concepts they may not understand too much. Now, a lot of advisors say, oh, you just put them into safe investments and that's it. It's like, that's not really the case, given that these elderly couple ran their own business, so they're aware of those risks. And also, they're happy to be in shares as well. Because there's capital growth in it. Obviously, there is capital growth in it, you know, over time, like more than anything else. They have said they want to be a bit more conservative, which I've obliged, but they're just not accepting my recommendations, and I just, I'm not frustrated at them not accepting it. I'm frustrated at me not being able to communicate that to them, like that why we're doing it and whatnot. Like, that's what frustrates me the most. It's not like, you know, you can sometimes get frustrated at people and not accepting your ideas. It is more just, me trying to convince them, and I'm just not getting the right communication through, or right things through in particular about, you know, why I want to change things and whatnot. And that just frustrates me and annoys me to no end. Because like, there's not like, if someone's thinking this might be something wrong with the advice or something like that. No, the advice is pure. Like, the advice is purely, they've got an overexposure to Australian shares, like not like 10% overexposure. It's like 50% overexposure, and I'm trying to get them out of that. Like, I'm trying to get them out of that overall and more into like fixed interest, international shares, property and infrastructure, mainly more into fixed interest. And yeah, they're not having they just want me to talk about it more and more, and I guess everyone, I just don't think they can get it at the moment. And I haven't really established that relationship where they just trust me implicitly 100% when they don't know. And this is where like a lot of the regulation falls down with financial advice, is that our advice in particular is not based on our technical skill. Yeah, you may find this like completely fucking crazy, okay? That's not based on our technical skill. But it's like based on implicitly how much a client trusts you, because I know some financial advisors who are fucking dumb as rocks, but their clients trust them. Okay? That's the main thing, okay? Well, they asked me for like a lot of their advice questions and whatnot, okay? They asked me for the technical answer and whatnot. And they asked me like certain areas and whatnot. Now I gotta say, the main reason why is because like they've operated like 40 years plus and whatnot. And like, some of the things that are coming out now, it's hard for them to really deal with. And sometimes they're also dealing with people as well, managing employees and whatnot. So it is relatively difficult. But anyways, enough about that. I can yammer on about that, but yeah, it's like the lack of understanding in our industry, or not our industry, in regulating our industry, is that a lot of our clients trust us to do the right thing. They trust us for the technical advice. They trust us for the personal advice and stuff and whatnot. They don't want to be deciding how to invest and where to invest, okay? They want us to do that. And that's what regulation seems to miss quite a bit, is that they think, like the regulators think that the client knows everything about financial advice, okay? When they really do not. And then they go, oh, well, the client should really, really know about financial advice. And the client just doesn't care and doesn't give a shit. So what they do is they send us like 6 pages on like, what a thing does. And I'm like, no client's gonna fucking read that. And I have clients telling me they're not gonna read that. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to read it. Like, I can't legally say that. Like you can read it if you want, but you don't need to read it if you don't want to. And like these pages, these things aren't like 1 or 2 pages. Like some of these product disclosure statements are like fucking 90 pages. And I'm like, clients are not going to read that. Like they hire me because they know that I know, kind of thing. Or they trust that I know what I'm doing. So that pisses, that's another like argument for another day. That's one issue of the regulation industry, or in our industry. And I know we've been talking quite a bit, and how I got here is because of those guys that are talking about financial advisors and how they don't offer any value. And I'm like, wait till you get into a situation where it requires taxation advice and investment advice, and also like investing in the right entity and whatnot. And then you'd be like, oh shit, I wish I had a fucking advisor. But I hate people who are like going, oh, they invest you in an index fund and don't, they expect payment for doing it. And I'm like, there's a reason why they invest you in an index fund, okay? They don't want you to pay high fees in a time when economic is not going to be too bad. Like, in particular, what I'm doing now for a lot of my clients is just putting them into passive index funds, because I'm seeing a lot of, active fund managers do the exact same thing, where they're putting all their clients into passive. So yeah, that one is it's out there, okay? It's very, very out there. Anyways. So that's another thing. And I don't know, maybe it's not just not directed at me, but I can understand them having qualms about advisors charging 5% entry and 5% exit fees. And I've seen advisors charge that. Well, not advisors, but accountants pretending to be advisors charging that. So basically, back in like 2015, when one of my senior advisor had purchased a book, and they purchased like this is more of a distressed asset because they figured out they were doing a lot of paraplanning for this company, and then they realized after meeting with some of the clients and whatnot, one of the clients let it slip that the other company wasn't doing so well, okay, and that they were really, really worried that they weren't managing their stuff properly and whatnot, and there's common complaints that the other office like wasn't answering things or whatnot. And unknown to us, they were like fighting with basically an accountant who sold the book to them. Got back into business and like was slowly taking back his client base that he used to have, and they were trying to sue for a non-compete clause. And the people who bought the client book were fucking clueless, as far as I know. Like they weren't very cluey on financial advice and how to deal with it. And what happened was that the previous person who got a lot of these clients in these awful situations was slowly getting them back on board and with him, which I guess they overall, like he also did it as well after the book was sold to our company, and we were wondering whether we could have any legal complaints against him for like basically for like doing this sort of stuff. So this guy basically sold a book and then slowly got those clients back as a accountant advisor sort of thing. And some of the fucking fee arrangements we found for like fee for no service and some of the accounts was just absolutely mind-blowing. Like for example, one of the clients, he was getting charged 1%. He was also getting charged a 5% entry fee on any of his contributions and whatnot. And anything that entered the fund was getting charged at 5%. And this guy was like employed for like the last 5 years, and he was losing 5% of his funding going into super because he was getting charged an entry fee. And like getting charged, I guess right now, getting charged over 1% for advice, like an ongoing advice thing, it is crazy. Okay, absolutely crazy. And this guy was charging a 1% fee on top of it and a 5% fee on top, which is obscene. Now the problem is that guy had quit advising because the new rules had come out with fee disclosure and whatnot, and obviously he wanted to duck out because he basically said it was too hard and whatnot to his clients. Like he basically lied to them. So like basically they wouldn't get charged fees and he wouldn't give advice and whatnot. He would give ad hoc focal advice other than actual advice. And we were trying to catch him providing advice to our clients so we could report him to ASIC. Because at this stage, I think it's like 2015 or 2013, that accountants could not provide financial advice, and like they could not provide advice that would be financial in nature, such as, for example, like they could provide advice on tax and whatnot, but like what to do and what to invest with their funds and whatnot, and where to put it and how, you know, where to invest in, what platform to use and whatnot. Accountants weren't allowed to do that, so we're trying to catch him in doing that to a client that we purchased. Because like there was a lot of clients that we had purchased in the books, but they would never talk to us. Like they would like have a conversation and hang up on us. And one client in particular, we had like 3 or 4 meetings with him, and he ended up staying with his staying up with this guy. And I got told by a client, because he's their accountant, that he retired. And I basically said, like, he was aware of what he was doing from the financial advice space, but he said he was a good accountant. I'm like, yeah, he's not qualified to be a financial advisor. It was absolutely ludicrous. Like, when I saw him, like, because we were about to combine this account with another account. Unfortunately, we caught it before we did. But this account was, like, if we combined his accounts together, he would have got charged 5% on the rollover, which was like, I put it this way, it was about $10,000 he would have lost on the, we would have gotten fees. And we basically said we would have refunded it to him anyway. But it's just like still like the inconvenience of it all is not good. But yeah, I was just so surprised. I was so bemused. And in the end, like, we couldn't do anything. Like, they're basically the book that even though we purchased the book, you have like no right of action to sue this former advisor who sold the book to them initially to stop poaching our clients. And like there was like things as well, like he still had their phone numbers and whatnot. And like we're still contacting them and whatnot. Not to mention as well, we had that issue with one of our advisors as well. Like the advisor sold the book to Symmetry and then started contacting clients. Like literally like basically told him like, you don't contact clients for like, what was it? It was about, I think it was like 6 months. Like, you know, when you retire, you don't contact the client 6 months after you sell the book. So he sold the book and then like literally a famous footballer dies. 2 months later, he sends it to every single client of ours. And then, and we basically said to him like, dude, did you not read your fucking terms of agreement of selling to clients that you don't contact the clients? And he's like, oh, what happens if they contact me? I'm like, then you don't, like, that's fine. He was just trying to play dumb. I'm like, bro, like, it clearly says, like, you don't contact the clients. Unless you personally know them. And obviously, I guess right now, with some of them, he didn't personally know them. Like, he was more of a business relationship. And I basically told which ones he does personally know and whatnot, which I don't mind if he contacts. I just basically tell him just follow the rules, bro. Like, follow the rules. Because this is at a time where he was like, you know, not sure he's going to retire, if he wants to get back in or not. And it's like, bro, like, I had to tell, like, multiple times, like, you stop getting involved in the business. Like, I've had to tell this multiple times to him. And that was during that time, I basically said, like, stop getting involved in the business. You've sold your book, you retired, stop. Because he was trying to tell me how to do my advice and criticizing my advice and meeting summaries that I gave to him. And like my current firm was like, dude, you're giving incredibly detailed file notes and incredibly detailed sort of things, like that's like beyond what is needed. And during that time as well, I was really stressed out because I came off a panic attack in Amsterdam. Like I had a really bad panic attack, and then and then like, you know, when I was like recovering it in bed, because I was going to bed at like 4 PM, which is normal Australian time, I didn't get used to the EU time zone. Basically he sells the company while I'm away, like on a whim, because this is how he is, and that causes even more stress. And yeah, you know, in 2022, I just like basically I just had a breakdown, I suppose, in September, where I just wasn't able to eat, was constantly stressed out about not being eating, and there's just basically a loop that was like incredibly frustrating. It was all caused because he was super indecisive, like with what we're gonna do and whatnot, and I was worried that I wouldn't get to keep my job and whatnot there either. And we were in limbo for a very long time because he kept asking for more money and didn't want to sell the book after essentially moving us to this new workplace. And then claim he was acting for us. And I'm like, bro, fuck off. You're not acting for us if you're fucking holding up the deal. I had to tell him that I wanted to move to this new firm because you're not doing anything. And not to mention as well, like he wouldn't give me a redundancy, even though I'd been running his business for the last two and a bit years at a lesser wage, considering I got like a 40 grand wage increase when I moved to Symmetry. And it's just like, bro, like, so I got the redundancy in the end, but I got a significantly reduced redundancy compared to everyone else. And he was paying money out to ex-employees who hadn't worked at the firm for like 4 to 5 years or so. And I basically said, I think it was to my co-workers at the time, it's like, guys, I don't give a shit I got paid something less. I'm just happy I got paid at all. And he was trying to like scurry money away for his family lawsuit, basically. Which, now, you may be going, oh, that's understandable. He had been in a family lawsuit at this point for the entirety of the time I was employed at the firm, which was 10 plus years, which was about 10 years. And he's still in it to this day. So 14 years, okay? And also he had been in it before I got employed as well, so probably an extra year. So he's been 15 years of family law litigation. But at that point it was 10 years. And he was trying to like diamond nickel his ex-employees who were keeping his business running while he was trying to do his own family law court. He didn't trust any lawyers at all. And then he also got some of my co-workers and some of the people employed by him to write legal letters, which I have no experience for. And I told him off for it. I'm like, mate, I'm not writing you any legal letters, even though I do have experience in doing so, because I'm employed to be a financial advisor, not a fucking legal secretary. And also, not to mention as well, he has fucking no clue what he's doing as well in the family law court. Basically, every person he hired as a legal secretary or stuff like that, after I said that, were telling him, mate, no one's, like, they was telling him straight up, mate, no one's gonna care about this. No one's gonna care about this. The judge is gonna say, what the fuck is this? Which is exactly what happened. The funniest part was the judge at one of the cases was suspecting that he was overpaying his staff, and I'm like looking at an average financial planner's wage, and like I'm earning under 20k, what a normal advisor is paid, or 20 to 30k at that time, what a normal advisor is paid. And he was suggesting to, because obviously my co-worker told me this, it's not just my boss, my co-worker told me this as well. And my coworker asked me how I was being paid. I'm like, and he's like, they were trying to say that you're being overpaid. And I'm like, what? Like they're suggesting that I was getting overpaid at I think it was like 65 or 70 grand per annum. When a normal financial advisor at that point was getting like a 100k including commissions. Sorry, 100k excluding commissions of my experience. And I was getting commissions because my boss, after like focusing on the business, when he got into the family law court, he just didn't keep attentive to bonuses and whatnot that had to be paid out. Like, it was very inattentive to all that stuff. So it was just like higgledy-piggledy basically at that point. Like, even his best friend basically said, mate, you should just focus on running the business. Stop focusing on the law court. Get a fucking lawyer. I know he didn't listen to that, and that's why, even though I've made up with him now, that's why he's in a giant hole, because of that. And he like his family is like semi-torn apart from that sort of stuff as well. Which is incredibly sad, but also at the same time, it's kind of his own fucking volition at the same time. I know a lot of people get pissed off when like Dirty Brace and whatnot has been like brought out like this. He knows, okay? Just FYI, he knows because I've talked to him about this. Like, I confronted him when I was getting our redundancies basically about this, saying like, I've ran your firm while you've been trying to play lawyer, basically. And not to make matters worse, he was so indecisive as well during those times. Like, fucking hell, we were trying to get research for, like, we're trying to get a research house so we could have, you know, share advice in certain different areas other than just Bell Potter and Morningstar, because Bell Potter cut off our access. Because he was trying to work on goodwill at being at Hartley Pointers, which used Bell Potter. And then Bell Potter found out they were getting all their research for free, which they didn't want to do anymore, because considering he hadn't worked for Hartley Pointers for like 5 to 10 years. And the Morningstar guys told us that their research that they're providing on the website is only for, like, it's not for financial advisors. So I was trying to get another advice at the research house, like, you know, do it properly, and they were going to give us a, you know, a plan for 400 a year, and like, he wouldn't even tick off on that. Like, I basically got the deal to the table. Obviously, since I don't own the business, that I can't, you know, say yes to it. And he didn't say, and he took him like fucking 6 months, and he's just scuttled the deal. Like, he just scuttled the deal. He wanted another trial. He wanted to check it out, when he was not fucking doing anything with it in the first place. Like, we had 2 trials that lasted a month, which I used and got some stuff off. But he wanted to use it, and he wasn't using it because he was focused on his fucking family law case. And then basically the guy who I got all this goodwill and made a deal with, he just cracked the shits with him, told him to, like, bro, you just don't want to fucking pay for it and just want to get everything out of me. I was like, yeah, that's what it's fucking seemingly communicating. This is like shortly before he sold the business, by the way, but it's just like, bro, I just basically said, what are you doing? Like, I was just sick to death, and I said, like, I brought this deal to fruition, and you scuttle it like that. And like 400 per year is, g'day Link man, hope you're having a good day so far. 400 per year is relatively cheap for a research house for like all their research. And I'm just gonna say right now, we would have no issues, because with financial advice, like if you advise to buy, let's say, BHP, for example, you have to provide research on why you're buying BHP, like, you know, a reason for it. Just grinding Lawmaster. Oh, okay, yep. How are you going? Oh, I'm grinding wood at the moment for all the profession stuff. I have to get a lot of wood. Let's put it that way, a lot of wood. I have to grind 916 Olemba wood. So we got 340 at the moment. And we got obviously a druid for the assignment, because druids are OP, because they can chop trees while on platform, which is the most important thing that you need in a class. Is a class being able to stay in bird form. You just finished Tranquillian? Okay, yep. The Tranquillian questline. To be fair, like, I gotta say, that's probably, back in BC, that was like the best questline ever in BC. It was like so good. It was like, you go to Barrens and whatnot, where you gotta try to find half the quest, and then you got Tranquil, which is just so beautiful. Like, basically back in the day, people would finish that questline and go straight to Barrens for later Barrens, and like Stone Talon Mountains. Because Tranquil was just so good. Like, they would even like for example, if you're a Tauren or Orc, they'll literally go to Orgrimmar to go to UC to go to Ghostlands. Because like all the itemization there was just so good. And like some classes would just get themselves summoned to Silvermoon. Go do Cape, you gotta do Summon Stranglethorn Vale, yeah. I remember when that was one zone, holy shit. STV, man. STV was like the best zone. Like as soon as you get to like early 30s, it was one of the good zones. Then it was like late 30s, and then it was like early 40s, and then it was late 40s for the rest of it. But the worst part overall was, if you're a Horde, is trying to get to Swamp of Sorrows. Especially on hardcore, by the way. trying to get the Swamposaurus to get Stonard. Because there's no way to get to on Classic. Like on Classic, sorry, wrong thing. On Classic, sorry, I need to get back to the universe. On Classic, there was no way to get to Swamposaurus. Yeah, Tokyo Classic, there's no way to get to Swamposaurus other than going through Duskwood. There was no way to get it. So basically what you did as the Horde, is you ran up here, you ran either to the left or right. To be fair, you're over leveled at the stage. You just wanted to dodge Stitches, because Stitches would run across here, and he would definitely kill you if you got into him. Then you would have to run the edge like this, and then go like this into Darkshire. We had to go along this edge to make sure you don't aggro any guards. And then you had to go through Deadwind Pass, which is probably the scariest part of it all. Is because Deadwind Pass had a level 60... So you go through here. At this point around here, there's a level 60 bird that you can aggro before you got to Swamposaurus. And obviously on hardcore, if you die, you die. That was a very scary proposition. We managed to dodge everything, by the way. Okay. Obviously, as you may know, I did get level 60 in hardcore. Okay. I've transferred my shaman off the server, but you can watch on YouTube my hardcore 60. This was last year. No, not last year. It was this year. It was earlier this year. I got it. But you can just watch the second last episode, because that's when I hit 60. Because the last episode is my brother hitting 60. Because basically it was like late at night, and he was like 58 and a half. He was like 59 and a half, and I was like 59 and like 3/4. And I had all my cloth quests I could hand in. I just ran back and handed in all my cloth quests, like Rune Cloth and Mage Weave and whatnot. So yeah, that was, to be fair, the leveling process, we had a lot of near misses as well. I think there's only 2 of them in there. But yeah. The big near miss was the Stranglethorn Veil one. When we were pulling for the Mind's Eye. Basically, the Hunter's Trap expired for the Elite Mob quest. And basically, we had to kill 3 Elite Mobs. Like, it was a 3v3, basically. So, obviously, it's not really fair. And this pet was literally ping-ponging. It was tanking the Elite. And we fortunately kept it alive and killed all the other mobs. But that was nervous when the trap disappeared as we pulled. But yeah. There's a lot of tough parts there that we were able to get out of or just do good in as well. We almost got killed in our EPL as well. Because we tried the EPL. Like, this is because on retail it's popularized. But on EPL, where is it? There's this area here where you can go up the cave to get to here quickly. But in Classic, it's suicide. Like, absolute suicide to try this. Because there's a lot of level 60s that pat here. And elites as well. So in the end, we just went this way. Say effectively. Because we was trying to get to Light's Hope Chapel. And avoid the Crimson Kriya as well. Because the Crimson Kriya will kill you, basically. And my brother almost looted a Blood of Heroes as well by accident. Always tapped it. I'm like, don't tap it. Because obviously if you tap a Blood of Heroes, you die. Unless you got a group, unless you got like a 4 or 5 man group ready to go, you are going to die. Because you can't run from them either. Because they have a 50% slow. But yeah. We got it done in the end. We had to do a lot of the elite quests towards the end of EPL. Because we have a lot of hardcore strategies. A lot of hardcore strategies, what they do is that they do both starting zones. So for example, for So basically for what I'm talking about in particular is that for like Horde, for example, they'll do Duratar and finish Duratar, and then what they'll do is they go to Undercity and do Terrestrial Glades. So they'll do the starter zone twice, and then they'll go to the Barrens like level 14, 15. So every quest to them from that point onwards would be green, and they'd also start Silver Pine as well. So they'd always get double quests, and the quests would always be green to them, but never grey. So they would never be in a situation. This is more for later on. They'll never be in a situation where a quest would be yellow to them, or if a quest is yellow to them, they'll be severely over leveled for it, and a quest would never be red to them either. And that works well until you hit 58, 59, and you run out of quests like that are green to you. So yeah, that was a journey and a half. But that's what a lot of people did. Me and my brother didn't do that. We had no idea how to level hardcore. I'm just like, we just play conservatively and that's it. And I was like hell planning like what we were gonna do for a certain day and whatnot. We almost got killed in Arathi Highlands as well. We almost got killed by fucking Valakor. So yeah, there was a lot of shit. Classic does sound tempting. It's like the leveling process is basically the entire game. But I really hate people who like really fantasize about how good it was. And I'm like, even though this all sounds good, I'm gonna tell you right now, 75% of your questing experience in Classic WoW is going to be you traveling. Whether it's gonna be flying, walking, or whatever. That is what you are going to be doing. You are going to be walking, running, travel form, or whatever it is around. And it is very slow, like very, very slow. Like with retail, it is how it's very quick and interactive and whatnot. Classic is anything fucking but. Classic's very, very slow. Very, very unreactive. Like trying to take on more than one mob can be a death sentence in Classic WoW. And like a lot of the times you're like sitting down and eating and whatnot as well. Because obviously you need mana and whatnot as well. Obviously helps you have a mage, but you know. There's a lot of downtime. And I really dislike people who like fantasize it about so much, because I'm just like, bro, you know that this is not the case. Now it is like I say right now, it is a good thing to do at least once. But it's like I say overall, there's a reason why WoW retail is what it is now. Because like you realize the exact same opinion about it that I have the moment you probably get to, let's say, level 30 to level 40. Because that's when you start traveling to different zones and whatnot. Like traveling, you know, between different zones to get certain quest chains and whatnot. Like for example, with Desolus for Horde, if you do not get a quest chain in Orgrimmar, you miss out on at least about 1/5 of the quests. If you don't go to Orgrimmar, pick up one quest. Because that will open up all the other areas, basically. Like, there's a lot of quests like that in, like, Classic where like if you didn't pick up the quest here or another quest down there, or you didn't do the chain here, you have spots missing for your experience. So like having an add-on like Questy is like a must need, but back in the day, no one had Questy. So like there was a lot of people who hadn't done certain quests because it let's put it this way, it never showed up for them, or they just didn't get it. Like I think one of them was called Centaur Diplomacy, and you could only get it in Orgrimmar from the Valley of Spirits. And me and my brother completed it for the first time ever during our hardcore run. So yeah, it's and also not to mention as well, like a lot of our quests that we did, it was the first time we've ever done it on Classic, like ever. Because normally we just do instancing, or like it would be over leveled for that area at that point. Well, there's stuff like that where it's just like, it is long and drawn out. And I think basically by the time we started hitting 5960, we were just like done with Classic. But neither of us wanted to raid or do Classic because we have Classic as well. It's not just the questing. That's more preparation. The raiding, okay? The raiding is the exact same as the questing. You spend 75% of your time grinding buffs and consumables, and the rest of it's the raid. And the raid is really, really easy. Like when you have all those buffs and consumables, the raid just falls over. Like there are a few obviously resist fights where you need to have resist and whatnot. But like, you can prepare for those because you know they're coming up. But yeah. It is out there, okay? So yeah, I'm not gonna say don't, play it at least once, but you are going to understand my complaints of it. The moment you hit like level 30, 40, and you start to go into like different zones to start shit, you're gonna be like, fuck me, this is what he's talking about. This is the shit is what he's talking about. Like, yeah. Like this is like, you'd be like, this is what he's referring to as like being 75% traveling and whatnot. Like I played Classic WoW when it released initially, okay? I played, I didn't complete Nax, but I played up to Nax back in the day. And I love all these people telling me, be like, oh, you're not a true Classic raid. I'm like, mate, I did it when the fucking release. Like, fuck off. Like, I know what I'm talking about because, like, this shit I had to do and put up with when I was a fucking early teen in WoW. And, like, the amount of shit I had to fucking grind. I remember grinding AQ rep, grinding AB rep, grinding Warsong Gulch and AV rep. Fucking hell, man. You don't know the battlegrounds have their own reputations? And like, for example, like for a best in slot for some of the classes, there are either rewards from winning AV, like for the first time, or there are rewards from being exalted or revered or honored with the factions. That were like pretty decent upgrades other than raiding. Like you did the dungeons, but then there came a point where like you couldn't get any upgrades through the dungeons. Like the only ways you could get upgrades were through crafting, which I gotta say overall crafting was, a lot of people farmed all the shit back in the day. And the other way to get it, and also some classes didn't have a DPS spec, like for example, Druids, Balance and Feral were dog shit. And like I had to DPS as Resto to try and get my stuff for Nature Resist, or group with people to try and get it. But like it was relatively not fun. And having these guys tell me about like, oh, back in the classic glory days, like, bro, you didn't fucking raid. I bet you 100% that you came in like when classic re-released, when everyone knew what the fuck they were doing. And I raided MC, I raided BWL, I raided AQ40 and AQ20, and ZG. And also raided Nax, not to too much, but like I did raid Nax too. Like I did attempts on Sifun. We killed Twin Imps. I remember getting called out for not having decursive, and they were wondering why my decursive is so low. And they told me to download decursive. They didn't know. I didn't know that there was an add-on for it, and they were surprised as well because I was doing decursives for some bosses. Like they were surprised. Decursive was an add-on where like literally, okay, they got nerfed heavily. But literally you had like a thing here that would tell you like who has a curse or who has a disease, and you just click it and it'll just do it. It would automatically do it for you. Like you could just mash decursive non-stop and it would instantly dispel everything. Like if anyone got a debuff, you just mash that button and it all got cleansed. And they got rid of it in BC because like what everyone did was just spam decursive and it'll be done. But what decursive did is they changed it to grid raid frames, so if anyone got a curse, it would show up in a color. And then you can click it to do the feature. Like even for example, Asmongold and a lot of fucking WoW content creators would talk about how good classic WoW was. And I'm like, fuck me bro, you know it wasn't fucking good. And then he talks about like how good the classic dev team was. And I'm like, bro, fucking Druids only had one spec that was fucking functional the entire fucking first expansion. As well as Paladins, which was Holy and Resto. Yeah, that's good game development, okay? That Feral and Feral Balance Ret and Prot were dog shit. Like for also same with Shamans as well, other than enhanced Shamans for Wind Fury. But even if you were enhanced, you were still playing Resto. Like they had that one token enhanced Shaman in vanilla, but that person wasn't really a enhanced shaman. They were enhanced to get an improved Wind Fury totem to pump up the melee DPS, but they were healing. Like basically I think it was improved Wind Fury totem was like 21 points into enhance or 20 points into enhance. So that shaman would miss out on a lot of healing talents, but they would still be healing. It would be like 21 points in 22 points in enhance, but they would be healing. So like they're not DPS, they're healers. So they'd put out like improved strength of earth and air and Wind Fury. Just FYI, Wind Fury was chaos back in the day, okay? Absolute chaos. Like Wind Fury procs was like an extra 2 attacks. And warriors benefited so much from it, okay? So what a Wind Fury attack was that you get 2 extra attacks at like 500 extra attack power. And let's just put it this way, it was absolutely insane for warriors. Like warriors would rock like a 3.6 speed weapon that has high-end top damage and just absolutely flatten fucking everyone in DPS. The moment the boss got below 20%, prot warriors went fucking skyrocketing. And then the second DPS was rogues, and then it was mages. So like you have classic raids at the moment, and a lot of these classic raids do this as well, that have like, you know, warlocks and shamans and like mages and like priests for certain buffs and certain debuffs to maximize damage. And then everything else is rogues and warriors. And mages. Some mages for AoE, because mages still have the best AoE in Imp Blizzard. And like Flame Strike and Arcane Explosion. And like back in the day, like I had to explain this to Greek Warrior. Back in the day, guilds did not have 20 fucking warriors in a raid. Okay? We had 5 warriors, 6 warriors max. And that wasn't because their DPS is so good. It's because you needed, for some bosses, you needed 4 or 5 fucking tanks. So we had like DPS warriors having to have like a build a tank set. Because on like, for example, Princess Hururan, there was points where you needed 5 tanks because your other tanks could get slept by Hururan. So you needed that 5th tank to taunt the boss and keep it there. So I remember like all our DPS warriors having like a sort, like being in their tank set, tanking Hooran, just in case like the Wyvern's thing that she fired slept 4 of our tanks. Because with Hooran's mechanics, I think I can show you actually. Let me find it. Where is she? Yeah. Oh, it doesn't show abilities. Oh, that's a buggeroo. She's an ability called Wyvern Sting, where the closest, where the 5 targets closest to her can get slept, even with maximum nature resist, which is all the tanks had, because you had to have maximum nature resist. There was like a 10 to 15% chance of it, you know, still sleeping you. And we had a time where we had all 4 of our tanks slept, and we had 1 DPS tank that we had to heal for a good like 5 to 10 seconds while we got the dispel off our tanks. Because Wyvern Sting's also a poison, but the problem is with Wyvern Sting, it puts you asleep, which means you lose all threat to Hooran. And the main reason why you obviously need 5 tanks is that obviously if your tanks go to bed, they don't have threat for like a couple of seconds before they're dispelled. So you do, like basically if let's say for example Hooran starts moving, it's really, really bad. Because Hooran also, like I think it was the closest 10 people got a stacking nature dots on them. So if Hooran started moving to the mages, that different group would get it. And that's not good. Because the group that gets it had a lot of nature resist, so the poison damage wouldn't do so much. While everyone else had like a full DPS set to do more damage, basically. So there's shit like that. Now, from this point onwards, the strategies have greatly evolved because people understand the boss mechanics more, and people understand their own class more. So Classic is extremely easy compared to back to those days. But there's a lot of people were saying that, you know, it was super, super easy. I'm like, no, super easy now because everyone knows what the fuck they're doing. And like, Retail's got to a point where like, Classic is just fucking doing it on easy mode. Like, for example, in Classic, there's usually like 1 or 2 mechanics that are coming out. While in Retail, those 2 mechanics are happening at the same time. In Classic, that will rarely ever happen where there's 2 mechanics overlapping each other. The only mechanic that has been slightly difficult, that would be slightly difficult for people in Retail, would most likely be BWL. Would be Razorgore. Because Razorgore required you to kite ads, and another group would MC the boss to destroy eggs, and once all the eggs are destroyed, you take on the boss. And then you kill the boss. And if you killed the boss, well, you know, you could attack the boss and try to kill it, but if you kill the boss, he'll kill everyone in the raid. Like, as soon as he hits 1%, he'll just kill everyone in the raid. Because you had to destroy all the eggs before you could kill him. By MCing him, basically. And you had to have, like, your own specific groups to kite the ads, which was mainly to hunters, DPS warriors who were tank. Shamans with Earthbind and Frost Shock, because Frost Shock used to give more threat back in those days. Sorry, Earth Shock and Frost Shock with Earthbind. So Earth Shock was the one that gave more threat back in those days. And they were just basically kiting all the ads like in a square, like a train. And Alliance had Paladins, so you had to have a lot of hunters and warriors do it. And also you had to have a team, which was mostly rogues, because rogues couldn't do anything. To do the MCs on the boss, you had to have to use like other groups to make sure mages and ads were either... So you want to make sure the Blackrock mages died, because they could kick people off the Orb of Command, which was to use to MC the boss. So you needed to make sure that they were killed and didn't get to interrupt any of the guys. So that's how complex like the Razorgore was. But other than that, you know, if you did those properly, Razorgore goes down like a sack of crap. Razorgore is the first boss of BWL, by the way, and he's probably one of the most complex fights for it until you get to Nefarian. Because the other bosses in between are not so complex, and they're mostly resist checks and having the Oni Scale Cloak. which is a special cloak, basically, that you make from skinning on Onyxia. You see why I keep saying that it's like more preparation than actual raiding? Like, for example, you sometimes have to run Onyxia's Lair, which is a lesser raid, to make people's Onyxia scale cloaks. And to skin anything three levels above you, you'd have like 15 plus skinning on top of the 300. And then you had to have a level worker that could make the Onyxia scale cloaks. And like, if you didn't have a full team of Onyxia scale cloaks, like 40 members of Onyxia scale cloaks, they did find a bug for this in the end, where they could hide behind the throne and it'd be LOS. The person who didn't have the Onyxia scale cloaks would eventually die from Shadow Flame. It leaves a big nasty dot. But yeah. Other than that, it was very easy. Like, other than that, like, after that, easy. Like, there was, like, default things that you had to have. Otherwise, like, you know, it would be very difficult for you to kill. Like, it's not really skill-based. It's really, like, grind the shit out of this until you get this based. Oh geez, I gotta say, we farmed almost everything we needed for BC. We still need to farm everything for Draenor with this. Just an FYI, I started this 2 hours ago. I got the Decor for Brawl'gar, so I'm just gonna give you a bit of a highlight. So for Brawl'gar, it's all been done. So as you can see here, the Brawl'gar, where is it? The Deep Run Travel, that's all done. So what I've done in the end, I'm using the Druid to farm, obviously, the rest of it, because the Druid's the best. But yeah, like, as I said, like, I don't, like, my brother, like, even though my brother's really good at Classic, he doesn't understand, like, Classic games, like BC, RAF, and Classic. He doesn't understand the hype that people have for the previous games. It just doesn't. He doesn't understand it either. Also, I found out yesterday. Okay, turns out that Golden guy, or not Golden guy. Sorry, turns out the content creator guy that announced that is correct. Blizzard have increased war modes experience to 25%. But I gotta say, I don't think that's gonna make it to live, because that wasn't on the beta when I initially leveled. But I don't think that's gonna make it to live. If it does, it means all you do is turn on war mode and just go straight campaign. Because I did the calculation of all the campaign quests, and you smash right on 90 within a few quests of Voidspire, which is absolutely insane, by the way. And what I'm going to do as well, is that there's delve quests that give like 95k experience in like Silvermoon. There's 2 of them. And there's also 2 of them that you get to by the end of, by Zul'Aman. And there's 1 of them that you do as a part of Eversong Woods and as part of Harania. So yeah, I was going to use those delve quests because like delves you can do in certain areas like under 10 minutes, under 10 to 12 minutes. And getting like 95k experience for like an instance that you can do in 10 to 12 minutes and also get the instance complete EXP as well is relatively a good deal. Especially if you just do it in tier 1. Like if you do it tier 1 and just rush through it. You could do it in tier 3, but I would say tier 3 can be a bit riskier as well if you don't know what you're doing, because the mobs get obviously harder and harder as you level up. So yeah. So I gotta apologize for that, because I thought he was talking about war mode, and I'm like, shit. But no, he's actually correct. They have put 25% EXP on war mode, regardless of the amount of people in the server. Because I tested on a Horde Toon, and it was 25% as well. Which I'm going to say now is not a good idea. Because they were warned about this previously in Shadowlands when they did that for Alliance. Like it was, oh yeah. It was crazy when they did it for Alliance, okay? Basically in Shadowlands for Alliance, okay, this is how because I was talking to Bepples, because me and Bepples are racing. I think Bepples is still my friend list, is he? Yeah, there he is. Okay, Bepples, okay, so we were giving guides on whatnot and what to do, and he wouldn't go Alliance, okay? He wanted to stay Horde for it. And we were trading guides on what to do in Shadowlands, and he was like, what the fuck, you just run campaign? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, don't you have to do any side quests? I'm like, no. You can just rush campaign and you'll be max level, which was level 60 at the time. You'd be level 60 at Revendrath, like before the Accuser. You didn't have to do any side quests. I did some side quests just in case, and in the end I didn't have to do them because I got to the Accuser. I think it was I had 2 hand-ins left before I dinged. Now I'm trying to think whether or not, did I have quests that I handed in from BFA or no? I'm trying to remember it. I don't think I did, but I feel like I did. If I had quests to hand in from BFA, no, I definitely did. Definitely did. But like basically with the strategy that I had, I could just go campaign and I would hit max level 60 before Accuser, which was the main target. And I made like a decision to not do the side quest and Revendraft because I basically said, well, I'm going to hit 60 before Accuser. I'm going to skip some side quests that I would have done if I didn't have enough EXP. So I think it was like 80%, and I had one little zone to go, and I'm like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to do any of the side quests because I'm going to do ding with this, which I did, obviously. But yeah, that's how I got Oceanic first on Shadowlands. So I was Oceanic first and World 28th. They didn't, actually I think it was World 26, because what happened is that some people switched factions, therefore they had two of the same character leveled. But anyway, I think the site attracted is long gone now. Like long gone. But yeah, I was World 26 to hit level 60. That was the expansion where method strategy of farming, I think it was Necrotic Wake, backfired on them. Like after level 55, they couldn't queue up for Necrotic Wake, so they had to go out and level in Bastion, which is the Shadowlands first zone. And basically the other dudes found out that if they kept someone at level 51 or 52, that they could queue it infinitely, and they hit level 60 first. So pretty much what happened in the end is that the method guys just went on to other toons and leveled them up. Because what happened is that since they're level 55, going through Bastion when it's level 50, it's pretty much green for them. So yeah, eventually they had to go through Bastion and it was like really slow for them. It was actually like really heartbreaking because someone basically said to me, because they were far ahead, because I think they were like 56 at the time. And basically someone was telling me, oh, you know, the Method Boys 56, and I was like 54, finishing off Mount Draxus. And then basically one of the guys said, well, they're still 56, and I think I hit 56 just as I was entering Ardenweald. Oh, sorry, I think it was 56 before Ardenweald. I think it was going to close to 57. And then he's like, oh, there's still 56. And I'm like, what? Like, shouldn't it be like 58 or 59? Like, this far ahead? And then they told me that, no, that their instance queue trick didn't work anymore. So with a lot of these dungeons, only, like, I think it's only Necrotic Wake was available. Oh no, you had to go to the entrance to discover them. So what Ginji and all these guys did was that they ran to Necrotic Wake, from the spawn to get the entrance to queue up for it. But as soon as you exceed, I think it was level 55, you couldn't queue for it anymore. And there's like, with Shadowlands, you couldn't get to the new zones unless you finished the storyline for it. So they couldn't go to like Theater of Pain or any of the later Shadowlands because they had to do the entire Bastion campaign. And also they can't enter in normally because they don't get the bonus EXP at the end for looking for dungeon. So yeah. And that's what makes it slower, by the way. But yeah, so that happened. And yeah, so that's why I got 26, because Method fucked up. And I think another guild also did the same thing and also fucked up as well. I think it was Limit. And they didn't know about that either. So yeah. And I think out of all the solos, because a lot of the people in the top 20 were duos. But out of all the solos, I believe I was like the world 5th or world 6th solo. But I don't think you really can call me solo, given the fact I had summons to like every single point of the map in Bastion. And when I got to Ouroboros, like I had summons ready to go and whatnot. Like, it was something I really, really planned out. Like, I even gave YouTube tutorial guides to some of my guildies that were helping me out. I don't think they play, none of the guildies play anymore because I've obviously moved on with their lives and whatnot. But, they helped me out immensely with all the summoning and whatnot. And, like, I basically said, like, you know, it got to a point, it was like 2 hours or 3 hours in. I'm like, guys, you can go. Like, everything's done. Thank you guys so much. Like, because, like, they were just sitting around in the areas that I said, I'm like, you guys can, like, AFK or do whatever. They also had multiple accounts too, so like they could play on the other accounts. I just had to get the positions that I needed them in at certain points. Like the first hour was a bit intense because they needed to do things for me. Or not do things for me, but we needed, you know, DPS and whatnot. And like the opening of Shadowlands, you had to like get these 5 fragments out to the corners. So we needed a Warlock Gateway and Swap Blasters, because while you're pulling, you can't cast anything, and it's very, very slow. So what you can do is that you can have one person pick it up and then swap blast them. So it gets them to the point that they need to go immediately. And that's what we did, and also use Warlock Gateways as well, because you could use Warlock Gateways. So that it would save you from getting, like it would just make it quicker. Because the importance of speed running, especially with leveling, especially on live, like when the expansion just launches, the big thing is getting ahead of the pack early, which means you need very, very clean starts. So, for example, for Shadowlands, your Maw needed to be very quick. So, like in the first area, you got into the Maw, and the Maw, like usually takes about 30 to 40 minutes to complete the Maw, but you need to be quicker than the average player. So the average player would do the Maw in about 35 to 40 minutes. And I got the Maw done in 23 minutes. So that clues from the start, basically. And like, there were certain things that you need to do. Like, for example, there's an elite quest within the first 3 quests. You need to kill that elite very quickly. Like, basically, you accept the first 3 quests, but you went bang ahead for the elite. For the named mob. Now, fortunately, since we got in first with our trick with the fragments, like, we got the elite mob right away, killed it, got out of that area in about 2 minutes. And then once you're ahead, like, nobody's there. So you can get that done relatively quickly. And yeah, it was like my quickest Maw by 15 seconds. So I think my quickest was 23 minutes 47. And I think it was like 23 minutes 31. And there's a bit of a disaster as well. Like, what happened was, I'm trying to think what happened. Because they fell behind me. And I'm trying to find the reason why they fell behind me. I'm trying to remember it. It was something to do with Jaina. So their Jaina, this was a bug on beta as well. Their Jaina didn't quickly get over and got in combat a lot. And it despawned. And you have to abandon the quest and reaccept it to get it to respawn again. And I was worried that I would get that as well. And it was a problem on beta as well that, like, Jaina just disappeared for a certain quest. And then the other one, I got the good cycle, because I had to do everything solo. And also, like, the person who got bugged was the rogue. And the rogue is very, very important for the quest. Like a later quest in the mall. Because there was these locked boxes. And you had to kill the minions for the keys. But if you had a glyph of unlocking from inscription, or a skeleton key from blacksmithing, or a rogue, you could pick all the locks and then leave it unlocked for someone to loot it. So with the rogue, lockpick is a 1.5 second cast, and all the other unlocks are 3-second casts. So I lost about, you know, probably about 15 to 20 seconds doing it myself. Because of course I had the glyph of unlocking on me just in case this happened. Which it did. And also, they basically banned gun shoes in the mall as well. So you couldn't use gun shoes in the mall. Which was like a big speed boost for a lot of speedrunners. So I had to delete my previous PB where I used gun shoes. Because you couldn't use gun shoes anymore. Gun shoes is basically like a 200% movement speed increase. Along the ground, basically. So I had to use my speed set a lot. Where I had like, I think it was like 230% running speed. No, it was 130% running speed. That includes mastery, by the way, because DH's mastery back in the day was still increased movement speed. So like basically I had speed and mastery gear. So pretty much like there was a lot of indoor stuff in Shadowlands. So I basically ran like an epic mount, like an epic ground mount when I went inside. Now the other big thing as well in Shadowlands was that you had to have war mode on. Now obviously Horde and Alliance are in different phases for the more, but for Bastion they are in the same phase. And for the first quest in Bastion, if you got hit, like for the first few quests in Bastions, you would drop the anima barrel. Like you had an anima barrel that you had to fill up. But if you got hit by anything, you would drop it. So, yeah. That's all I need to say about that one, okay? I think it's obvious to a lot of people of how you had to handle that one. So that's the reason why I was trying to do the more so quickly. Is that you do the more ultra quickly. So you get to that Bastion quest and no one's there. So you can do that quest without getting ganked, without getting griefed or anything like that. And then after that quest it was just free sailing. Like I had a Hearthstone back there to get out of Bastion as quickly as I can. I need to hand in one of my wanted quests back to that area, because basically you handed it in at the end and then I would get summoned back to Oribos, which is the capital city. I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to show it because it's Bastion. So basically you started here, did all the quests here, and then basically there's a wanted quest here which you did on your way around about this area. And then you get ported back to here. And then you go out. So I was just handing that in. And like you could like basically I was like 30 minutes ahead. But as soon as I hearse back there, you saw like 50 to 60 people in that area. And I'm just like, you can tell how far ahead I am. Is that there's like 50 or 60 people just getting to this area. Like just getting to this part. And I've completed the zone. Like, the zone has been completed by me. And then, yeah, like, basically, when I knew it was, like, that far ahead, basically all the zones, like, for Maldraxxus, Ironweald, and Revendreth, the zone would lag, like, it would stop, like, it would act like it was disconnected before I got into the zone. And what that indicates, it means you're the first person loading up a shard of that zone. Like the first shard is opening of that zone. And like I had it in Ardenweald and I had it in Revendreth, and when I had it in Revendreth, I'm just like, yeah, I'm in the lead. Like I'm in the lead by a lot. Because then there was a druid that came after me, like he was like near, like he was doing the same quest I was doing. Because I did some side quests in Revendreth, not all of them, but like some of them. And he basically said because Frostborn had been lagging a bit as well, but he basically said like to me, he was like, yeah, like I didn't get any lag when I came into the zone, and I said I knew I was behind when that was the case. Because he got lag in lag in Maldraxxus, but never got it in Ardenweald and Revendreth. But he was like 78, and I was like 79. Oh, it's not 79, sorry. He was 58, and I was 59. And he asked me right away, I'm like, how close are you hitting the level? And I'm just like, because I met him just as I hit 60. And I'm like, I just got 2 quests, and I just have 2 quests, and I'll hit 60. And he's just like, grats for whenever you get it. And I think me and him met at the last bonus objective, dude. And since it's, you know, tag wasn't, you know, obviously you can't take people's tags, he basically congrats me as I hit 60. Because me and him had the same mob and we killed it. And the other guy that was competing with me, which is Sendin, I think I've talked about him when he's been in my Mythic Plus groups. Because he still plays. He's a really, really good Mythic Plus rogue. Like I've grouped with him multiple times. I beat him by about 24 minutes. He was second place, by the way, in Frostborn. I beat him by either 12 minutes or 24 minutes. And he basically said to me, like, dude, you are a fucking machine. He did say, like, you know, Demon Hunter, I know. But then again, he was like, well, being a rogue, given how advantageous the Maw was for rogues, you know, I can't really say, you know, he basically couldn't really say it's a class issue, given the fact that rogues also have a lot of movement abilities as well. But yeah, like, you know, it was, I was so relieved. Bepples hit 6, Bepples is the other guy whose speed levels. He beat me last expansion of BFA because he's very good at leveling as a hunter. It took him an extra hour and 10 minutes. I think he got first Horde. But he basically said, like, that 30% experience shit, it was just bullshit to compete with. Like, he basically said, like, it doesn't show any skill. Like, you just basically play Alliance if you want to level quickly in Shadowlands. And I agree with him. Like, that's 100% the case. Because he had to do, like, so many side quests in Ardenweald and Revendreth. And also Maldraxxus as well. Because he needed the EXP, otherwise he wouldn't be high enough level to go to the next areas. Like, the main aim was that you wanted to finish your campaign before you finish the Accuser. So there's a quest called the Accuser, and it's like this 5-minute scenario of going into a different area of Sinfall. And you wanted to avoid that because it took about 5 to 10 minutes to get that quest done. Which obviously back in those days is, you know, you want to get a quest done in like 1 or 2 minutes, not... It's like 10 minutes of like cinematics and RP, okay? Let's just put it that way. And you wanted to avoid that. Because the quest after that got progressively worse. Because there was another one after that, I think it's like a few quest zones after that. But you also meet Zul'jin as well. Because Zul'jin's in it as well, that Revendreth area. Where it takes an additional, oh shit, Terraco. It takes an additional 5 minutes of RP as well, and you want to like to get it done before the Accuser, so you didn't have to do any of that shit. So yeah. Will I be doing it for this expansion though? I won't be going that hard in the paint for it, but if I want to, I will. Given that expansion launches on a Saturday, so I don't have to take any time off from work, which is really fucking good. Now, someone may go, no, the expansion launches on Tuesday or Wednesday. Early access launches on Saturday. Saturday, my time, obviously. Obviously, Australian Saturday. So, you know, I think it's usually Saturday 5 AM. So I usually get on at 4 AM. Make sure I got all the quests ready to go. Make sure I'm in the right area. There's also the pet daily quest I've got to do as well. Make sure there's not any new ones where you can instantly hand them in as well. You gotta do so much checking. Every beta build, you gotta check, does this quest experience still give you XP? With a lot of the quests now, is that we've back in the day, pre-questing was really huge in BFA, and I think a Legion as well, and WOD. Like, it was really, really huge, because it gave you a big boost. But these days, they're getting a lot smarter on pre-questing, where any questing in previous zones will be reduced by 90%, which they've done in this instance, but still alright to have a little bit of an EXP boost. Because generally they turn EXP on before they turn expansion on. Like, in previous expansions, they've turned it on like 5 or 10 minutes. They turn the EXP on 5 or 10 minutes before they turn the actual expansion on. Like, for example, in my Shadowlands, because I had all BFA quests to hand in, basically I completed all my BFA hand-ins, got all my experience, and I was just sitting there, I believe. Let me see if that was the case. Or did I have no quests? I'm trying to find it at the moment, by the way. The funny part is with my Oceania stuff. Yeah, there we go. Trying to find it. Did I have pre-quests? Given my UI, I don't think we had pre-quests. I think it was the one expansion where pre-quest was not very good. Yeah, Shadowlands was the one expansion where pre-questing was not good unless you had the pet dailies. Because in the BFA areas, there's not enough like quests in the zone for it to be worth anything. It probably would have helped though if I had the pet dailies, but I don't think I did. Trying to see if I did the dailies afterwards. I'm checking it now, by the way, if I do hand in the dailies or anything after that. But I don't think I do. I think there's no point. Looking at the moment to see what my quest log is. I think I just transferred Alliance just to get that done. Yeah. All my things in my quest log is just purely Shadowlands related. There's no like daily pet quests or anything like that. It's just no quests. Just the two quests I have is mop and other quests. I just realized the time's 10:53. I thought it was gonna be maintenance today. That's why I was gonna go to maintenance. Yeah, I think overall, if I get any time tomorrow, I'll probably be doing beta testing, and like the Silver Moon scenario, the initial Silver Moon scenario is gonna be a big thing because it's really fucking higgledy-piggledy and all over the place, and I'm gonna need to get that done. before we do anything in particular. But, you know, should be relatively okay with it. Fortunately as well with this expansion, like with the EXP, the quests give about 1.6k. Oh, that's right. Shadowlands was the first expansion where they reduced the quests by 90% for pre-questing. That's why I went straight to leveling and not get any pre-quest, because they had reduced it to such a minimal amount. And also as well, didn't want to get behind anymore. But the main thing overall was the fact that they gave such a little amount. Like, I think I only gave like 1k XP per quest, which is 25k EXP overall, which wasn't that great. I didn't know at the time that I forgot about the kata quests. I thought it'd be too much time. And the kata quests and the pet dailies. Because the kata quests and pet dailies still give maximum HP, EXP. And also, if you want to get an extra daily, you can do the Cataclysm JC dailies as well. Swamp Rat post, I remember that back in the day. So yeah, that's I'd say that's about it. Oh man. For Dragonflight, I didn't do any quick speed leveling, just in case you're wondering. Because I was in geo shipping when it started, and what happened, I completely forgot that, because this is when I was not too much into WoW, because Shadowlands made me quit. I completely forgot that the release date for Dragonflight was on Tuesday of the week after DreamHack. So I stayed there for an extra day at geoshipping when I really should have left, by the way, because everyone was gone. That's different, okay? Not everyone there was playing WoW. It was because DreamHack tried this thing where they tried to have it on a Thursday rather than a Friday, and Saturday would be the last day. But in the end, they turned it back to Friday, Sunday again. At the last moment. Basically, a lot of the content creators told me that at the end, so yeah. So basically, I was in my hotel room when it launched initially, because I was checking out that day. So I woke up at like 3 AM was when it launched in NA, because I wasn't on EU, so it didn't launch at midnight. So it launched, obviously it was a global launch. So it launched, I think it was like either at like 4 AM or 5 AM, I'm not sure. And I woke up and leveled as much as I could, and then I had to leave because I had to get on a train. And I ended up getting a taxi because the train was delayed. So I needed to make my next train, which I needed to get to a certain station to get the Copenhagen Express to get to the airport. And I got to the Copenhagen airport and I played more of the expansion. And I got into Qatar's airport. I couldn't play any of the expansion because Qatar doesn't allow you to log into WoW. Like, I couldn't log into the WoW service in Qatar, so I had to wait till I get home. And then when I got home, so what happened to my computer died before I left to DreamHack, and I couldn't get it repaired. And my computer was still in the repair store when I got home. So, because my dad picked up the computer and put it to the repair store. It was a drive issue basically. So they had to fix the secondary drive, which was a big sigh of relief for me, because we thought it was the SSD. It was actually the secondary drive that was. What happened was that the secondary drive died, and it was trying to put all the memory on the main system, which it couldn't because it was too big for it. So in the end, we brought a new secondary drive and a SSD as well, a bigger SSD. Which is actually this computer here to my left. Was the computer that we had repaired. My OG computer, which is now used for streaming. Or now used for not streaming, but using to OBS as a dual PC setup. So yeah. A lot of history, man. A lot of history. And then I had to level up on Dragonflight without streaming it, because I didn't know that my PC could stream at 720p. Like my laptop, I had no idea, and play WoW. It could, but I didn't know it. So I didn't want to test it. I got up to max level, my main computer came back, and I played on that and installed everything on it. So yeah. That was an interesting first stream back. They were like, oh shit, you're max level. When did you do that? And then with the War Within, I streamed the first part of it, but didn't stream the second part of it because work got very, you know, we didn't think there was going to be much on with work at that time, so I could like play it. But then work got very, very busy, and they said, oh, we need you to come in. And I basically came in and worked for a bit. And then afterwards, I got back onto WoW. Like I was working while playing WoW, which I guess I do not recommend. And I got to max level in BFA as well, but not BFA, sorry, in the War Within pretty quickly. Funny thing about that, by the way, with the War Within, so a few of the I'll go to bed now, by the way, guys. I'll just log out here. A few of the honestly guys had to go back and do side quests in previous zones because they rushed campaign. So in the War Within, even if you had war mode on, if you rushed campaign, you'd get to like level 78. So like basically the guides are instructing you to do side quests, otherwise you would be you'd be underleveled. But yeah, anyways guys, that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. If not, I'll be doing some testing in beta to show some stuff. So yeah, peace out, have a good one guys.